Switch scenes. Hello and welcome to Jess's Mute the stream, Dustin. I can hear myself talking. Hi everyone, welcome to Jess's channel, where I am in complete control today, and we will be playing Tales from the Loop. And now I have to remember how this whole hosting thing goes. Hi, I'm Dusty. We can just do a quick introduction with just names, so we'll do everything at that. You can kind of say who you're playing, and then we'll jump right into the game. So yeah, I am the GM today. My name is Dusty at GeoNerd, and I'm really nervous but super excited. This will be my first time running Tales from the Loop, my first time playing Tales from the Loop. This is my first time in this whole system, so it may be a little messy, but I got a couple like RPG professionals. If you notice behind him, there's books. He's my resource.
You
Anyway,
said you had a couple though. Where's the other ones?
You're all actually like good and knowledgeable. So
in case of emergency, I have this, the medical companion.
oh, good, excellent. Nicklas, we'll start with you. Just introduce yourself and.
Yeah, I'm Nicklas. I will be playing Derek Weedy Wilkins, hick, who owns a greyhound named Krypton.
Antan.
I'm Antan Kamula, at Antan Kamula on Twitter. I wave my arms around a lot, apparently. I'm playing Andy Jones, a computer geek.
Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason, at Chase Levine on Twitter, and I'm going to play Rick Goto, who is a rocker who always has his trusty Walkman.
I love it. And Jan.
Hi there, I'm Jan. It's Jon. You say the J like a Y, just to be different. And I am playing Emma Doctor, a 13-year-old field hockey phenom.
Excellent. This is going to be great, you guys. Hopefully, my story goes off without a hitch. Oh, who knows? Okay, so I'm gonna dive right in with sort of setting the mood and kind of get you guys into the feel, and then we discussed it a little earlier. We'll do a quick little scene introduction with your characters. You guys can each do a short little scene. You can do the scenes together or whatever, and then we'll go straight into the mystery. So, let us begin. It's the summer of 1986. You are all in the former egg and milk capital of the world, known as Petaluma, California. That's a true fact. You're nestled in the Sonoma County area, which has the most iconic rolling, these are perfectly rolling hills, covered in oak trees. Mornings usually have, even in the summer, heavy fog floating in between the valleys. This is your first day of summer. The hills are a golden color due to the perfectly temperate climate of a summer Californian day. The energy of your first summer, no longer, you don't have school, the days are yours, that fills you with excitement. Because you know, it's the time of summer, the time of children. And this town is yours. Because it's 1986, and parents just let their kids go everywhere. No one cares. In Petaluma, it's a small town. It's got a country feel. There's a lot of dairy farms. All around it is dairy farms. In the very center, there's a giant grain elevator that has been repurposed from the days of the egg and milk capital, and it is now the head of the PPCC, which normally there are a few giant mechs standing here. There are giant mag ships that fly in from the farms and make deliveries. So there's always constant bustle at the. This is the tallest building. It's a 11-story former grain elevator that is now. Usually there's a couple giant mechs. I forget the model number, but they're the ones that kind of look like walking chickens. Um, I wish I had a picture, but yeah. So like that's like the big hub, and that's sort of just for everyone that's listening. This is 1986, but this is a world with technology that's a little different. The loop, as it is known, first one was built in Sweden. The Two Rock facility, which is built just a little east of, nope, just a little west. I know my directions. Just west of Petaluma, in the small town of Two Rock, is as hilly as this area is. You can see from Petaluma just the tops of the 3 cooling towers of this massive facility. And beneath you, little do you know, are networks of tunnels and loops, and this place is a hub of technology and research, robotics, mechs. A lot of the farms have these giant centipedes, is what the term is, but it's like diesel engine giant tank things. And these mag ships are powered by diesel but ride along the magnetic lines of Earth. And it's just, robots are a little more real in this age, and tech is just a little weirder. And so the United States has DARPA, which is the military government organization that sort of runs security and runs the loops. You know that this is the second loop to be built in the United States, the first one having been built at Hoover Dam in Nevada. And so, yeah, we'll jump right into scenes. If anyone has one, wants to go first.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned that the converted grain silo belongs to the PPPC.
The PPCC.
What does that stand for?
Well, it used to stand for, it was the Petaluma something co-op thing, but now that they've just termed it the PPCC, everyone just calls it that, and so that's just what it's always been called. It has no fancy repurposed acronym, but
at least that we know.
Yeah, as far as you know. But they took over that building when the co-op kind of fell through from bankruptcy, and when the loop was built, and it just sounds cool, and so maybe someone decided to keep it as the PPCC.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, if anyone. Oh, one more setup. You guys often, since this is just one shot, we didn't really devise a hideout. The place that you guys hang out the most is called the Phoenix, and you know the Phoenix from when you were younger. This is where maybe your mother took you to see Gremlins, which was a poor choice. What happened?
What's wrong with Gremlins?
Well, not when you're like 5 years old.
True.
6 years old.
Really changes Christmas for you.
It changed Christmas for me, let me tell you. So this was it's been a movie theater since the 20s. It's burned down 3 times, which is why in the last iteration it was renamed the Phoenix, because this movie theater has seen a lot of being burnt down. And it is now run by a man named Frank Osman, and he has sort of made it a place for people, young kids to teenagers, to hang out in a safe environment. He's been slowly converting a couple of the theaters into stages for music and for bands to play. He's taken over another one, and he's a real techie. Frank Osman is like a huge techie, and so he has arcades. So one of the old theaters has been converted into like an arcade place with arcade cabinets, and he is one of the first people in town that you know to own a Nintendo Entertainment System. Because that came out on October 18th, 1985, someone's birthday, who's GMing this game. And it came with a little Rob. What also came out was this little Rob with a robot. But this is Tales from the Loop era, so Rob is a little more active to you guys. And you know Rob as sort of this little robot that comes around, offers you. Frank has sort of programmed in life advice to this robot, and sometimes it gives you fun little quips about, do your homework and things like that. And so Rob often does little errands for Frank or any of you kids. Rob likes to interact with you guys. So it's this little Rob, ROB, from the Nintendo Entertainment System that's been hacked into a little more. And there's a little cafe there. You guys can kind of. This is just a big hangout, and he wanted to have a nice, safe space for kids to hang out during the summer and stuff like that. So that's kind of your hangout for all of you. It's got bands. Some people like the music that happens there. It's got a lot of computers and tech. You can kind of think. There's like a workshop where Frank encourages kids to, play around with tech. Build your own things. Yeah. If anyone wants to do some scenes, go ahead.
So should our scenes be at the Phoenix? Like, are we gathered?
Yeah,
There.
you can be all gathered at the Phoenix. You guys just want to to kind of introduce every kid. If you guys all want to do a scene at the Phoenix, we can do a scene at the Phoenix.
I have a scene that's not on this.
Okay. Let's go with you first, Nicklas. Then.
Okay. Yeah. Derek is in one of the barns that his family have. Some of them are still, cows, but one of them has been repurposed into, some sort of a glorified shed. You have tractors in there, and a little part of it Derek has been using to build his, attempting to build some robots himself. So Derek is sitting there building, trying to make things stick. Krypton. Can you fetch me a wrench? Good. And I will not wait for the wrench because,
Yeah, Krypton plods over, starts sniffing through the toolbox, and picks out a wrench. And
which is better than what you used to give when I ask you for a wrench.
He's getting better. Like, he's coming back with wrench-like objects, whether it's the size you wanted or not.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm thinking at the end of this small scene, there is probably breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the adults will probably call.
Yeah, you hear your mom call from across the. Like, I feel like this barn is sort of like nestled up right at the base of one of the hills, and then there's the oak forest, because you tend to probably go out there and like scavenge for like old stuff. There's some really old tech lying out there that you've probably taken bits and pieces from, and so you just hear, Derek.
Yeah.
Breakfast. Made eggs.
Okay. I'm coming. And Derek will pick up the piece he's working on and bring it with him to the dinner table.
And so your mom, she comes out of the kitchen with a plate, and she sees the project on the table again. And she's just like, "Oh, what are you working on now, son?" And like sets it down, but like scoots, like takes her hand and kind of scoots the project just a little to the side to make room for the plate.
It's sort of a side cart for Krypton.
Well, I get that. That seems like it could be handy.
Yeah.
Less likely than that other one that set fire to the curtains.
Well, it's the same project, Mom.
Okay, honey. Eat your eggs.
uh,
And she kind of walks out to the room and finishes in the kitchen.
yeah, and that's my scene.
All right. Anyone else have a specific scene, or do you guys want to? The rest of you want to be in the Phoenix?
Well, I've got a slight movie montage scene to get us to the Phoenix
All
because
right.
Derek sort of started us out early morning working in the barn on his project, right? So then cut to Emma, kind of, it's, a summer day, but she's still getting up early, strapping on the running shoes, in her kind of athletic workout gear and going for her early morning run, staying in shape. But you get the kind of montage through Petaluma and waving at folks who are used to seeing her run by at that time, right? She probably hits the outskirts at about the time Derek is carrying his project in to go eat breakfast and waves, gets a bark from Krypton as she runs by, does that sort of thing. So you
Like
get,
Krypton probably like comes out and runs along the fence with you for a little
yeah,
bit, just like, oh yeah, I know Emma.
all that sort of good stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If this is a montage, what song is playing?
Oh, that's a good question, John. Do you have a specific song?
So I'm going to steal shamelessly, and I'm going to assume that it's now Emma's not wearing a Walkman because she doesn't own one yet. Although she's a little jealous of her friend Rick's, but she's recently gotten into movie soundtracks, so it's probably Journey's "Only the Young," a la the opening of Vision Quest.
Oh yes.
Matthew Modine's doing pretty much the same thing and running through town. Might have been a little inspiration. I'm just saying.
Nope, I can see that. That's perfect. Yes.
And so she basically does the loop around, most of town and into the outskirts a little bit, getting at home, shower and changing, and then her parents, because it's summer, ask her to take her younger brother Jeremy down to the Phoenix so he can spend a little time in the arcades. Right? So I'm thinking they're probably leaving the house to go head down there, and maybe they meet up with Rick, who's on his way down there also, and we can head towards the Phoenix and kind of get into it.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like on this run, you just run by a lot of old farmers who are out there, like they look at you and they're always like so
lots
proud.
Of waves.
Yeah, it's always just like, oh man, she gets up early. She's always out here. Like she works hard. And a lot of them are probably like, God, I wish my kid would work that hard. But yeah, so yeah, you come back. You're all sort of meeting up at the Phoenix, and it's it's the first day of summer. The Phoenix is bustling. There's a lot of kids going on. There's a bunch of kids who are up on the stage, tuning their instruments. The arcade's going wild, and Frank is kind of running back and forth. Making sure everybody's doing good. Rob's, hanging from a chandelier, telling kids, do not hang from chandeliers. It is dangerous.
Don't follow my example.
I think someone put him up there and he can't get down. And so, he's trying to do his best.
All right, so if we're at the Phoenix now, are there any bands playing right now?
There is the big band that you all know. This is a high school band. They're all seniors. They're just called Metal. And they're doing a lot of the progressive 80s sort of like stuff. They're kind of they kind of get in early because they want to get the best times, and Frank is really good about kicking them off the stage because they tend to get a little, we're the kings, but he's like, no, you gotta let the young kids get up there and try. But they really like to get there early so that as kids are coming in, they see it and they get a little it's like they're playing at a venue, like they get a little high of themselves as all the other kids just like, oh, it's metal.
Yeah, Rick is definitely, he is playing it very cool as he walks in and sees them playing this early. But unfortunately for Rick, his band, Wolf Winter, they just broke up. Just there were a lot of disagreements, creative differences in the band. And so now he's without a band. So he's also sort of scouting and looking around for people who could potentially be in his next band, yet unnamed.
The yet unnamed next band.
Yes, it will have a name eventually.
It'll be
Still
Wolf
workshopping
Summer. No.
I'd imagine that Andy is sat in the computer room, doing his best to hack into the various computers there, because he knows that they are connected up to the sound system in the venue. And I'd like to think that in the middle of metal playing, he decides to trigger a little program that he's written that shuts the sound off for the stage and starts playing Elton John's Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
So Metal is up there. They're kind of practicing one of their new songs. And all of a sudden you hear just like don't let the sun go down on me. And they're all like, what? And a bunch of the other kids start laughing. And so Metal looks a little frustrated. And they're looking around.
Rick seems confused at first, but then it dawns on him he probably knows what just happened.
Yeah.
Andy suddenly makes himself scarce.
Just for fun, go ahead and roll me a stealth, Andy. A sneak.
Okay.
Sneak. Give me a sneak. Okay.
Sneak.
That's a success. It was a normal, because they're like looking around. They know that this is you, because this is not the first time. And they sort of like get all together and they run off the stage and start trying to look for you. But then they can't seem to find you. And now that they're off the stage, the minute they got off the stage, a couple of the kids ran up there. So now it's like they lost their stage time.
And
To Elton John.
Yeah. The others, knowing that it was me, will later on find me in a broom cupboard.
You may be.
We know where to look.
Yeah, you may be. They may find you, and you may end up in the closet, in the Phoenix. But you're not alone in there. There's another boy. His name's Derek. You guys spend a lot of time hanging out in that closet sometimes. But yeah.
Is this Derek with the one R?
Yes, it's Derek with one R. You're the Derek with two R's.
And a CK.
Yes. Petaluma has a lot of, like, I went to school with 5 Jessicas and 4 Dereks, and like, and everyone was just slightly different. But yeah. Anything else anyone wants to do? What's Emma doing here in the Phoenix?
Well, she'll have dropped off Jeremy to play some games, given him some quarters, and reminding him, although she knows it's kind of fruitless, to save at least one for a phone call if she needs to contact their folks. She will have seen Antan heading for the broom closet, and give him that, Antan, was that you again? You really shouldn't. Where the words say you shouldn't, but you can tell she's pretty impressed because she has no idea how he can do those things that he does. And let him go and, kind of make sure nobody saw where he went, and that sort of thing. And she'll pretty much be, at about this time doing her, she is not super popular, but as, kind of a mainstay on some of the sports teams, she is relatively friendly with just about everyone. And she, in school, tended to do a lot of the, we need somebody to kind of tour guide this group or do that. So, at first she's being social and saying hi to people and, and just seeing what's happening. who's going up on stage now, who's where in the place, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and as you all went to Petaluma Junior High, which is just 7th and 8th grade, I mean, you probably all know that, Emma's out there, is a public face. She's one of those kids you just know. And I think, what was that bird's name? There was a trained crow at this time of the era in Petaluma Junior High that the principal fed a lot, and so
That's amazing.
It would hang out. It would hang out with students. I can't remember its name, but sometimes that crow sits on your shoulder as you're like going around on your tours and stuff like that. But all the kids know the crow.
It's cool. It's amazing.
All the kids know the crow, and the crow like hangs out at lunch because the crow knows when it's lunchtime. But yeah, I can't remember its name, but it existed. So yeah, I guess that's the scene. So we're gonna kind of jump into the mystery now, and it's gonna be maybe like it's your first week out of summer, or first week into your first week of summer, and you're all hanging out at the Phoenix again. Rick, I think you're kind of auditioning some band members. Maybe you're playing.
I don't think he's auditioning any band members yet. I think he's actually having a really rough time finding band members. But I think it'd be very normal for him to have the garage door open.
Oh yeah.
Just like shredding on his guitar, his amp, much to the chagrin of everybody in the neighborhood.
Yep, that's fair. So you guys have your mornings, and it's afternoon. You're hanging out at the Phoenix, and Frank is running around frantic because he can't find Rob. Rob is never anywhere but here, and Rob is missing, and a couple of you kind of overhear him in your respective areas, just like, Rob. Has anyone seen Rob? This isn't funny, guys. Where's Rob?
Andy? Did you mess with Rob's programming again? It wasn't you, right?
No. I mean, I did last week, but not today. And I wouldn't tell him to leave the building. That's just not fun.
And you see Frank in the arcade, and he's like banging on a couple machines. He's like, "What? Rob normally helps me keep these together. Like, this is weird. Okay, I built the tech room for you guys to do with tech, but what'd you do to my arcade?"
We all look at Andy again.
Andy, you're smart. Can you come help me?
Yes, certainly, Mr. Osmond.
And so he shows you one of the arcade cabinets, and it's Bubble Bobble, because he's a big tech guy, and he managed to get this from Japan. And the game is going, like, little boss enemies are falling down, but the main characters aren't there at all. He presses start, and they're just not there. And you notice there's a couple other cabinets that are missing the characters in the games. They're just gone. And he's like, "This is weird. Have you guys been messing with the boards in these cabinets?"
No.
I definitely don't care enough to do that.
Can I take a look?
Sure.
And I'll take my little BBC micro that I take around with me everywhere, and I'll get some cables out, and I'll connected up to the arcade, and there's a little monitor there on the side that I connect it up to as well. Start typing away.
Give me a tinker.
Tinker. No successes.
Okay, I don't know what happens in no successes. Yeah, you kind of pull out, you open up the back, you got the board, you kind of tap into the board, but it doesn't seem like anything's wrong. There's a little scoring which you think is weird. But yeah, like this is, it might need a piece replaced or something. This is just you can't really tell kind of what's happening on here.
Okay.
Can I look at some of the other that are missing, the characters, to see if
Yeah, go ahead.
no one has opened the cabinets or something?
Let's see. What would go ahead and investigate.
Investigate. Oh no. Well, I have some dice in there. 1 success.
Okay. So you can ask questions, right? With that, you can ask 2 questions. I believe you can ask me.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't remember.
Yeah, you get to ask 2 questions, and there's a little list on page 75.
75. 2 questions. What has happened here?
Okay, so you kind of look at the board. It looks kind of like there's some similar scoring on this board that doesn't look like. It looks like something happened electronically to it. But just on the board, there's no other signs. The outlet looks fine. It's strange because it doesn't look like anything specifically blue, but there's definitely some sort of residue.
Okay, my second question is, what is hidden here and where is it?
There is one of the which ones are those? I think it's capacitor. No, the little round cylinder ones. Can't really remember.
Capacitor.
Yeah.
Capacitor.
It's glowing weird. It's very faint, but it's like got like this weird glow to it.
I will look at my friends, go over one and then the other, and then I will stop at Andy. And Andy?
Yeah?
I think you're probably the best. Can you look at this?
Yeah. And I wander over.
Rick is going to wander over too. He doesn't know anything about this. And
Yeah, that's why I looked over you, Rick and Emma. No, not I don't.
There's like no. Yes.
While they're working on this, Emma's going to take a look at Frank, and he looks pretty kind of shaken by both Rob being missing and something happening to these arcade machines. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I know in the past he's done some things where he's like set up some things for the techier kids to work on and stuff, but this doesn't appear to be like something of his doing, does it?
As far as you can tell, no.
All right. Then Emma's gonna kind of elbow Rick and say, "Hey, while they're working on these machines, why don't we check in a couple of the other rooms to see if Rob's, like in the band room or the cafe or somewhere where he's not usually, and just kind of do a quick, like, hey, can we see if he's in somewhere else in the Phoenix?"
Mm-hmm. You guys can do that. So I'm gonna jump to those two really quick, and then we'll come back to Andy and Derek on the board. So yeah, you which you want a cafeteria or band room?
Rick.
Band room.
Okay. So go ahead, and try and do investigate in the band room.
All right. Wow.
Oh nice. Oh nice.
Jeez. We rock that investigate.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Ask me some questions.
Do we pool our 2 questions, or do we each ask 2 questions?
Let's
ask one?
pool. Yeah, let's you each pick a question and ask me a question.
All right.
So my first thought is we'll walk in there, but Emma will turn to Rick and say like, "Hey, you know more about most of the gear that Frank's got in here for people to use and stuff. Does anything look like it is kind of messed up the way the arcade machines were, a little out of place or something not right?"
Yeah. So I guess my question is, what is hidden here, and where is it? Like, what is out of place? Is anything out of place? And
You notice in like a corner where they kind of like keep some of the amps. One of them is like turned on its side, and it's like speaker side down. Or not amp, but like yeah, the amp's a speaker, right? No music. Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's like they're normally all like stacked nice and neat, and people can pull them out as they need them. But like one of them is like off kilter, and it's speaker side down.
Does it look like it's been knocked that way?
It does.
Like, does it look like it fell over?
No, I mean, you're kind of looking at the trajectory of it, and it's if it had fallen over, it wouldn't be in that position. Like it was intentionally like knocked over.
I'm gonna, before answering Emma, I'm just sort of gonna walk over to that fallen amp, and I'm gonna pick it up.
Mhm.
And
It's
just
a lot lighter than it should be.
That's odd. I'm gonna stand it back up, and I'm just gonna look around it, like in the general area.
Okay. I'll let you just like see. There's bits and pieces. Like they look like they belong inside that amp. Just like little scraps of metal and electronics.
And they're just lying around.
Yep.
Is there a guitar or an instrument that I could plug into this amp around?
There's one right there.
I'm gonna grab a guitar and plug it into the amp and try to turn the amp on. I didn't do that.
A
But
small
you're
little
okay.
fire breaks out.
Oh,
Just
no.
a little smoke. It's just like a little and like some smoke.
That's not supposed to happen, right?
No, and this amp is all weird.
That's not good.
Emma, you get one question.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what needs to be asked now. So it looks like obviously Frank and Andy and Derek are looking at stuff that looks like it got messed with in the arcade, and now we're seeing stuff that got messed with here. Rick, if you look at these parts and kind of what's going on with this amp, does it look like anything, like there could be another purpose for anything that might be missing from here?
Would that be a roll for me to tell if there'd be another purpose to this?
What role would that be?
I don't think it's something either of us are, kind of.
It's
Yeah.
definitely not something I'm good at. Maybe like a tinker roll. Like,
But I think Emma's like figuring out, like, hey, is there something bigger here? But doesn't have the, knowledge to know immediately.
Do a calculate.
this will go well. Yeah, 0
Yeah,
successes. Exactly
okay.
what I expected.
Yeah,
Just shrug.
it
All right.
plays music usually.
Not right now. It
Yeah.
burns instead.
Well, why don't we leave this here before we start any more fires, and let's check out some of the other areas. Maybe let's hit the cafeteria and see if there's also something weird going on there.
Okay. I'm gonna switch back to
Sounds good.
Derek, and then we'll come back to you guys. Okay, so you guys have a glowing capacitor.
I'm gonna touch it.
You touch it, nothing really happens.
Is it hot?
It doesn't feel hot.
Okay.
It's just this faintest glow, like the whole thing is just sort of glowing. Just sort of like this whitish blue light. But it's like you have to like cup your hands around it because it's like, and you know that
Okay.
capacitors don't do that.
Yeah.
Frank kind of is looking over his shoulder like, you kids sure you know what you're doing? Nicklas, you're muted. Oh.
That's how professional streaming works. Yeah, we know what we're doing. And I'm thinking, Frank, do you have some smaller tools or something?
Yeah, I can give you tools. Yeah, so Frank goes off and gets tools, and then I'm gonna get some tools and figure out why Antan disappeared.
He blinked. He blinked. Yeah. He blinks back and forth.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
And apparently they can hear him just fine.
Are you doing anything, Dusty?
Yeah, I hear. Okay, so if my mouse goes over you, you disappear. Which is
Such
weird.
power.
So I'm gonna leave the mouse over here.
That's so weird.
And
Yeah.
I have made real life technical problems through a game. Tales from the Loop is real, guys.
It's the mystery behind the mystery.
That's so weird. And also, I feel like you figured out this GM screen blocks all of the chat. So I need to pop the chat out into an area where I can see it over here. There we go.
I've gone blank again. Oh, there we go. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, we're learning as we go.
Yeah. That's the weirdest thing. I hover over you and you disappear. Okay. Well, now that we figured that out.
He's a spellcaster.
We did that.
Sorry, I was got quite distracted by that.
Frank comes back with some smaller tools. It's like, okay, now don't. I believe in you, kids, but don't mess stuff up. This is expensive. I mean, the guy I paid to get this from Japan.
Can we let's turn the power off first?
That's probably smart.
Yeah.
I don't need electrocuted kids.
I mean, one person in this room has built robot mice, and it's not you, Frank.
Okay, just watch that attitude, Derek. Also, you haven't let those out here, have you?
No.
Okay. Derek just sort of like steps back a little bit and just kind of like watches you guys. Or
so
Frank,
what happens? Does the glow disappear when the power?
No, it
turns?
seems. Nope. It seems steady. It seems like it's still going.
Should we attempt to remove it, do you think? And then Derek just takes a small pliers and just pull it out.
You pull it out of the board, and Frank's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! That's expensive."
Is it still glowing?
It is still glowing.
This is
Mr.
normal.
Mr. Osmond,
Yes.
you've got a glowing capacitor.
And is that not normal?
No.
No, sir.
And I will point to the other capacitors on the board and see, none of them are glowing.
Okay. Well, heck, I don't know what that's all about.
Do you have some spare parts?
Yeah, I mean, there's the drawer in the tech room's got all sorts of old boards and stuff.
And I will look at the numbers of the capacitor and see if I can find someone that fits, and then try to solder it on.
Okay, well, if you're gonna solder things, give me a tinker.
Yeah, and Tinker is tech.
Yes.
And Tinker. So this hopefully is. Oh no. But I'm gonna push it just because.
What condition are you going to take?
Yeah, what condition are you gonna take?
I'm gonna say angry.
Okay.
Because it doesn't go as I want.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it still doesn't.
You're just angry.
Yeah. And I'm rolling 7 dice.
you angry?
Crap.
Yeah. And now you just have a blob of solder on a capacitor on a board, and you're angry.
Yeah.
Derek, you really shouldn't have pulled that out.
It's still glowing, and I will hold it still in the pliers and just wave it. I have seen weird things out in the woods. This is weirder than all of them, because when you shut those down, they shut down.
Yeah, that mechanical cow you found, that was weird.
Yeah.
But it powered down when you turned it off.
Yeah.
This is not. And Frank's just like looks at the board. Like, look, I don't know a lot about tech, but that is not supposed to look like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call Jim.
Yeah. It shouldn't be broken if you just get it on properly.
Well, Jim will fix it. I'll go down to Jim and Derek. You know Jim as the guy at the Radio Shack.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
I don't want to. I can't really leave the kid. Like, maybe if you guys want to go to Jim and make him show him what you did.
Yeah.
And make him fix it.
Yeah.
I gotta go find Rob. Okay, when we're I think that's a good scene, and we'll go back to Rick and Emma in.
Okay, please tell me that wasn't accidental, and you guys have actually heard of the show Jim Will Fix It.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind.
But I'm glad I did an accidental funny.
So I found it hilarious, but never mind.
All right. That'll be a rabbit hole for later.
Yeah, don't look too far.
So
we're in the cafeteria?
You're in the cafeteria. Some kids are eating. Go ahead. I don't know, getting a hang on all these rolls, but Yeah, so like there's a bunch of kids walking around eating their food. Uh, I'll give this to you. There is one kid, um, you know, uh, there's actually two. It's Casey and Danielle, and they're like inseparable um friends. They're like they do everything together. I love how much I'm taking just literally from my childhood. But Casey and Danielle are just like fully inseparable. Danielle is this darker skinned, long black hair. She's way taller than Casey. Casey's this small little, real pale kid. Messy hair, never combs it. Um, and they're kind of sitting at the table, but like normally they're like always talking and like hang out, but they're kind of just sitting there with each other, kind of across from each other at the table, and they're really quiet and their kind of heads are down, and it's just something about it, like Casey and Danielle, and they're like this is really off with these two. There's something going on.
I'm gonna go straight over to them, and I'm gonna like sit down next to them, just slide right in. Hey, Casey. Hey, Danielle.
Casey kind of like jumps as you sit down. She's like, Rick, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Like, I mean, hi, Rick.
I'm always here.
Yeah, I know you're always here. I just meant like, you don't sit down here all the time. Like, what's going on?
Well, what's up? You look a little off. Everything okay?
He kind of looks at Danielle, and Danielle, you can kind of see Danielle just kind of looks back at him, just an imperceptible like shake of her head. Yeah, we're fine. We're just sitting here eating lunch.
Have you seen Rob anywhere? Little, robot dude.
No. No. I haven't seen Rob. No. And ow! You hear a kick. Rob just kind of goes ow, and like glares at Danielle. Give me this is like a person thingy. What do we got here?
Is it empathize?
I think empathize.
Yeah.
All right. I'm good at that one. Oh, except on this roll. Let's see.
You want to push?
That's what I'm thinking. Geez, what condition would I take? Yeah, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna take exhausted.
Okay.
And I'll try to re-roll that. This is how it's going. So now we have an angry Hick and an exhausted rocker. Neither one of them accomplishing what they intended to do.
No, yeah. Yep. And,
I'm just sort of puzzled. Like I see that happen. I like one of them kind of. It was Casey that nudged Danielle. Was it?
It was Danielle that kicked Casey.
Okay, so I see that sort of happen, and I'm like, I mean, level with me here. Something's up.
Then Danielle kind of like sighs exasperated and looks at Casey. And she's like, I can't. You're not good at keeping it cool. And she looks at you and she's like, we saw Rob. He wandered off. He went he walked past us, made some sounds he's never made before, and went right out the back door.
You see where he went from there?
He kind of headed. He went down western. That's as far as we know. I'm gonna move you guys to, which I forgot to do this, to the map of Petaluma.
Oh, cool.
With a little key of how things are set. So you're at number 3. Sorry, stream, you guys can't see this, but this is mostly just for them. And so, sorry, they went down Washington and kind of headed down towards Washington. towards the PPC or PPCC.
Okay.
That's really hard to say.
All right. And have you two noticed anything weird with, like, I don't know, the arcades are acting up? There's an amp all busted in the band room.
I mean, not really weird, but like my chalk set's missing from my bag, and Casey's Walkman's gone.
When you saw Rob leaving, did he have anything on him unusual?
Casey, did he have anything? And Casey kind of looks and like thinks. Oh, he might have been carrying something. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe he did. He looked a little bulkier than normal. I mean, he's kind of bulky with all the stuff Frank built onto him, but yeah, maybe. I don't know. This is all. I'm sorry. Just
Yeah, it's already a
we
long
saw
day.
Robin. And like Frank's been going around yelling about him, and like we saw it, but like we don't want. I don't know why we didn't say anything, but like, oh man, we should go tell Frank.
It's all right. I got that.
Okay.
Still.
Thanks.
To you later. Thanks for
Bye.
the help.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Bye.
And I'll stand up and go back to where Emma's standing.
Okay.
And you can see that Rick just looks a little bit tired.
Mm-hmm.
And he just Casey and Danielle saw Rob leave down Washington.
He left the building.
Yeah. And a bunch of stuff is missing, including pieces from that amp. And he may have taken some of it.
Emma will do a quick look around. Does it look like anything is missing in the cafeteria? Or has been messed with?
Give me investigate roll.
Nope.
You can't really tell if there's anything really
Cool.
missing. Yeah.
Then she will say back to Rick, like, oh, well, at least it looks like there's nothing missing from in here. But it looks like, are you all right? It looks like that took a lot out of you. Did Danielle and Casey have anything else to say?
Yeah, not really. They're kind of out of it too. I don't know.
Well, if we want to get things back to normal and get Rob back, maybe we should roust up Nicklas. I mean, he's good at wrangling robots, and maybe we can go see what is going on with. See if we can't track him down and get him back here, and at least maybe that'll help Frank out.
Yeah, let's get back to them and see what they're up to. We'll figure it out from here.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
We'll head back to Derek and Andy.
Okay. So back to Derek and Andy. And so as Frank kind of says, you fix that, and Frank kind of walks off. Derek and Emma come walking in.
Hey guys. Rob was seen leaving the building. You're muted, Nicklas.
Okay. Fine.
He might have been taking things.
Have you seen this? And I will take that.
It is a glowing capacitor, and you think it's supposed to do that, probably.
Is
What the heck is that?
that supposed to do that?
No, it has no energy in it. How the hell is it glowing? It's
Should you have it in your hand if it's glowing? What if it's like radioactive?
And you touched it. Is it radioactive?
I'm sure it's nothing like that.
Yeah. Well.
Derek, normally I'd go to you and Andy about this sort of thing, but if you guys can't figure it out,
Yeah. Frank has told us to take this thing, and we'll probably taking out the circuit board.
Mhm.
I think wheeling the entire arcade machine there is probably not.
No, that's fair. I mean, that's a smart idea.
Yeah. We need to take.
You said Rob left the building?
Yeah, Casey and Danielle saw him walk out down Washington.
But he's not programmed to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Perhaps he's gone renegade. Like in that movie, Robot Renegade.
That movie was rad.
It's not as simple as the movies.
Yeah, I know. Rob do not have weapons.
Yet.
all right. So we think it would be a good idea maybe if we can go track him down, but is there something you guys need to do with that arcade stuff?
Yeah, we need to fix it, Rob. Frank said we should fix it because I accidentally soldered something a little bit wrong. It's piece of shit.
Well,
But-
maybe if we find Rob, maybe Rob can fix it.
Didn't he say he was going to call Mr. Jim?
He had said you guys take that to Jim and see what he can do about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And where is Jim?
So Jim
Radio
is
Shack.
it's a
Radio
Radio
Shack.
Shack, and Jim is sort of owns the franchise of it. I don't know if Radio Shack was ever franchised, but it started out. Jim actually ran like an electronics store. His whole family has run this like electronics repair store, and then like Radio Shack started getting bigger and bigger, and he sort of incorporated a Radio Shack into his store. Like he got them to build it next door, and then he could like tap into all the crap because he's basically a hoarder of.
So it's a loopier version of Radio Shack.
Yeah, it's a loopier version of Radio Shack.
I like it.
So he's, and you all know Jim Drake.
Well, then maybe we can all
Mr. Drake.
head that way to see if Mr. Drake knows anything about this, and maybe we can see if we can spot Rob on the way.
Yeah, and so you know on this map that there is the number 8 and 9 on there that do not have a thing because I realized last night I had forgotten to put them on there. 8 is Jim's shop.
Cool.
Wait,
It's on the way. That's the direction that Rob
Hang
went.
on, nope, sorry, I have it switched. 9 is Jim's shop. 8 is Joe's A1 Bakery.
Well,
But,
still,
like,
either way, it's sort of on the way.
Well, and
we can.
you know Joe's A1 is they got some of the best pastries and sweets, and you know
We
it's
can
run
definitely stop there, too.
Yeah, and it's run by as they want the kids to call them, Oma and Opa Becker. They've been running this for 75 years. They're German immigrants. It's a real bakery. They make the best butter horns. I mean, later in the future they get pushed out of town because rents go too high. But Joe's A1 Bakery is the place for kids because it's just got like cases of like fantastical pastries. Like Oma Becker makes like amazing cakes. But you know that, this is, places.
Yeah.
Where, but
Okay.
yeah. And so, Rob
Right.
headed east. Oh, come on, Dustin. East on Washington was the last time you saw him.
All right. So Rick's just going to say, here's the plan, guys. Rob went down Washington. We have to go down Washington anyway to get to see Jim. Let's just head down there, see what we see. Maybe Rob has left some clues or something along the way.
And on the way, get some butter horns.
Sure. Sounds good.
God, now I want butter horns.
I think we all do.
I don't know what butter horns are.
I can't explain them, but they're really good. They've been an obsession of my family for years and years and years. We take them everywhere, every camping trip, every event. Butter horns, we'd always just buy huge packs of them and just go. Anyway, sorry. This isn't supposed to be Dustin relives his nostalgia, but it's turning into that, and I'm sorry. Okay,
This
so you guys,
scene was sponsored by Butterhorns.
Joe's A1 Bakery with Oma and Opa Becker. Okay, so yeah, I think the next kind of scene is you guys going down Washington. This is kind of like the main fair through
Yep.
town. And this is basically you're in downtown. So, you know, it's these old big bank buildings and, you know, small little shops and things like that. And you can feel free to stop people and
Can I sort of look out for sort of little bits that Rob may have dropped on the way?
Sure.
Stuff.
Give me an investigate for that. Gonna make you guys roll a bunch. Oh, nice.
2 successes.
So you can ask me 2 questions if you want of what is hidden here, what does it mean, what's happened here, how can I get into, out of, past something, what threats can I perceive, or where is it?
Let's go with what is hidden here and where is it?
So as you guys are going down this street, everyone, like Emma's probably like leading the charge, like, come on, let's go.
And at this point, she picked up her backpack when they left the Phoenix, and it's got her field hockey stick strapped to it, even though
that's what I was
it's
picturing.
not time, but she's always got it kind of with her.
You always want to have that handy. You never know what could be happening next. Soon. And I think. Go ahead.
Given what Rick had said about Danielle and Casey, while like Antan is focusing on, hey, can I find some stuff? Emma's doing a little bit more of a, hey, do I see anybody who like is where they're supposed to be, but maybe looks like something's wrong, or more like a read of people they're passing by and things like that.
Okay, so you go ahead and. I don't know if that would be a thing, but for now, let's do Andy. You have your head down. Everyone else is kind of moving, and you have your head down looking, and you do see a couple of parts. What was the question you asked me again? I got sidetracked.
So
what was hidden here? Okay.
Where is it?
And so there's a little bit of glint from the sun catches your eye. And there is a couple of pieces. There looks like I don't know what's inside of an amp, but there's a piece from inside of an amp.
Amp parts.
There's an amp
it's like a speaker, basically.
Okay.
It's got like the cones.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember like what else was like in stuff. But anyway, there's a piece of electronic equipment.
Okay.
And it's kind of on the sidewalk and it's rolled off. And from what you can tell, it looks like it's still going down Western. You guys are probably at about Keller Street, halfway down there, but it looks like it's still going down Western.
Washington, you mean, right?
Washington. Washington, not Western. Sorry, God.
Okay,
I looked at Western and I meant Washington. I know my own town. The creamery's on Western. That's a great place to go. Anyway.
I guess.
I'm just going to take a food tour.
Second question.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna go with what threats can I perceive here?
As you pick that up and you're holding it up into the sun, out of the corner of your eye, up ahead, farther of you, you see Metal, the entire band, walk into Joe's A1. Just ahead of you. And like
Oh.
one of the kids is outside smoking. He's just sort of waiting for them to get done. But there's something suspicious about him. Like, why is he standing out there? I mean, he's smoking, but he looks like he's keeping a lookout.
Does only Andy see this, or do the rest of us see?
Andy sees it.
The rest of us are still just walking down
So
Washington.
I just sort of stop you guys and go, guys, you know, Metal, the band, they
Yeah. What about him?
Yeah.
they've just walked
Suck.
into Joe's, and look, one of them is well, he's looking shifty.
I mean, they usually look shifty, but
Yeah.
More than normal.
I asked if they could play some Kate Bush songs, and they scowled at me. So I mean, fuck those guys.
It's okay, Derek. It's okay.
Derek does still have the angry conditions.
Right.
It's really bothering him.
You gotta let that go.
No.
All right.
They didn't like it when I called Kiss disco band either. I mean,
Oh wow!
That was
Yeah,
years ago, though.
And I will show
but
the
5 months ago, it was still this year.
All right, you guys argue this out. I'll be right back.
I will show the parts to Rick.
What's that?
This from the amp? Is that-
It could be.
Yeah, you've seen amps open, Rick, and other people working on them. That looks like a piece that's supposed
Sure.
to be in there.
Where'd you find that?
Well, on the sidewalk. I think Rob might have dropped it, and it looks like he's gone down this way.
All right. I'm gonna go find out what's up with Metal up there, and I'm gonna break away from the group a little bit and head towards the one who's sitting out there smoking.
The one that's smoking is Jamie. And he looks like your quintessential 80s teenager in a band called Metal. Smoking, and he looks at you and oh look! It's Whiny Wolf.
Jamie.
Rick? Found any band members yet?
I'm still looking. Know anyone who's interested?
No.
What are you doing here?
Getting some snacks for the band.
And he definitely looks shifty, right?
Yeah, go ahead and give me empathize.
Yeah, probably. Where's my character sheet? There we go. Yay, I succeeded.
Yay, you did it. You can ask me a question or two.
Let me bring that up. All right. I'm going to ask, what does Jamie want?
Jamie wants no one to pay attention to what's going on inside Joe's A1. Jamie's out here to just sort of keep any kids away.
Well, Jamie, if you don't know anyone who might be interested in my band, I think I'm just gonna head inside and pick up some snacks for the road.
Oh, without your little friends over there? The rest of the band's in there. I don't think you want to go in.
I think I'll be
Yeah.
fine. I'm gonna move right on inside.
Yeah.
Unless Jamie tries to stop me.
Jamie's gonna try and stop you. So I guess that would be roll me a
A force?
I think a force. Yeah.
Can I help?
Yeah, if you want to help, you can help. You can add +1 to the right? Or one.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
So me and Krypton will run up and scream, "Hey, Jamie!"
As I'm
Jeez.
trying to like force my way by or whatever. If I get to roll an extra die, I'll just do that
I think so, yeah.
in the chat.
Oh,
And
nice.
that one succeeded.
Nice.
That's perfect.
So Jamie steps like in front of you, just like nah, and then Derek comes running up and Krypton's whoof, whoof, and Jamie's like, what the?
I just shoved my way past
Yeah, he's like,
past Jamie.
shit. Yeah, and now you're in Jose 1, and
What's the situation in here?
so there's the rest of the band, and Heather is a lead of metal, and Heather is just like the badass high school chick who's leading this rock band, and so she's sitting there ordering from Oma Becker is up there, and she's this cute little old lady who just loves to give things, and Heather's being really impatient about it, and Oma Becker is just trying to be happy and keep, and like deep down, you don't talk to Oma Becker like that. But and the rest of the band sort of like standing next to Heather, kind of leading off her lead. They're all kind of a little subservient to Heather, but they're all kind of looking and saying what they want from the trays and stuff like that. And in Heather's arms is Rob.
I'm gonna push my way up to the front to the counter where Heather is, and hey, Heather.
She kind of looks over her shoulder, just kind of snuffs and looks back, like, yeah, just come on, Oma. We're done here.
Your last show was pretty good.
That's supposed to be a compliment. Of course we're good.
What you got there? I'm gonna nod towards Rob.
It's Rob.
Why do you
Phoenix?
have Rob?
Weird little.
Frank is pulling his hair out right now.
Yeah, we're gonna get back there and give him back. Weird little fricker was coming out of the sewer.
Coming out of the sewer where?
It's down over by the waterfront. I don't know, like, I figured we'd take him back,
Well, hey, you've got better things to do, I'm sure. I can take Rob.
Yeah, and you don't think me taking Rob back is gonna let Frank give me more stage time? Ha ha!
You get all the stage time as it is. What do you need?
More stage time. You little runts gotta know how it's done.
Come on. You know I'm trying to put the band back together.
I know you're trying to put a band back together. You really want Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. You can have Rob. You pay Oma for our snacks.
All right. I'm gonna nod and I'm gonna turn to look at Oma, and I'm going to put on all the charm.
Okay. And
Oma.
so Oma sees you, like Oma's just like clicking her tongue at Heather and all this. Just like thinking, oh Heather, you were such a good little kid when you were younger. This upsets me.
What do you mean, Oma?
Oh, she's just, you kids, you grow up and you just get rude.
Yeah.
You're
Heather
not
could,
going to do that though, are you, Rick? You are
No,
good.
I'm good.
How can I help you with?
Oh, Oma, what did they order?
Oh, it's the usual. Some butterhorns, some donuts.
I'm gonna get that for them, but I'm a little short on money right now. I mean, you know I'm good for it.
Oh, I mean, your mother comes in. Wait, no, wait. You're divorcing parents, right?
Yeah, they're in the midst of
Okay.
there's some trouble
And
at home.
how long have you been in town? You grew up here, right?
Yeah, I've been here
Yeah.
for a while.
So yeah, sure. I mean, oh no, your mother comes in all the time. Everyone loves the butterhorns. I don't know why everyone's so obsessed with them, but they're all good. I mean, I know why everyone is obsessed with them because I make them. And I make everything with love. That is the drug I use. Don't use drugs, Rick. Use love.
Of course not, Oma.
No, if you want, that is such a nice thing that you are doing. I'm so proud of you. This is good. No, dear, please. You could learn a thing from this boy. She kind of points, and she's just like this small little old lady, and she likes pointing up at Heather because Heather's tall. You could learn some things.
And hey, Oma, I know that sometimes you're a little bit hesitant, but can I get a coffee?
What do you need a coffee for?
I'm just, it's a long day.
I suppose. I could see if Jürgen still has some brewing. Jürgen! Ja, mein Liebchen! Do you have any more coffee? Ja! Warum? Rick wants some. Oh no, boy should not have coffee. He is a tiny boy. He's doing a very nice thing.
Rick is trying to look as cool as possible in this situation. Really difficult.
Jürgen, just bring us a small coffee. Do you want cream and sugar with your coffee?
No, just black.
Well, I was gonna have you fill it with mostly cream, but he wants it black. Yeah, I'm coming. Jürgen is coming. He'll bring that right out to you. Opa is good. And Jürgen comes out. Are you sure we should be giving this boy coffee?
It's totally okay. You know me.
I mean, I know you, but I'd like to see you grow up tall. These stunts your growth. Look at Oma.
Just one cup.
And she literally just punches him in the side. The Hauptmut, Jürgen. I'm just kidding, Liebchen. Here you go, some coffee. I don't know about this, though. Next time your mother comes in, I'm going to tell her to make sure she's not giving you coffee.
Sure. And I'm going to take the, when they bring out the butter horns for the group, I'm going to hand them over to Metal. Oh, Heather, probably.
Thanks, kid. She hands you Rob, and they grab the butter horns, and she snaps her fingers and does this sort of thing. Doesn't even say a word. Everyone else kind of falls in line, and she walks out.
She's so cool.
And as she stops, she just slugs Jamie in the shoulder, stupid, and grabs her by the jacket and pulls him along because they let kids in here. And then they head off back towards the Phoenix. It looks like they got their snacks.
All right, so I'm going to come back out of the bakery with my coffee and Rob.
Rick, what happened? What the?
Oh,
You've got Rob.
I've got Rob.
Rob was in the bakery?
Heather had Rob. Apparently, Rob came out of the sewer.
Out of the sewer?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start checking him over.
I'm gonna drink my black coffee.
And I think that's gonna be. We're gonna do a quick little. We're gonna do a break. That's a good stopping point
Cool.
here.
A coffee break.
We're gonna take a coffee break, everyone. Because
Rick's
it's
coffee break.
it's been an hour and a half, so that's a good
Oh,
point to stop.
nice.
And then we'll go on with the rest. You guys are kind of halfway through my notes, so that must be a good thing.
Excellent.
So everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for. I had not planned any of the Beckers to end up like that, but they did, and I guess I'm happy. So yeah,
That's good.
everyone, we will be right back. Take about a 5 to 10 minute break. Everyone go get some water, get up and stretch, grab some snacks, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna move it to a scene that I don't have words for yet, and then mute us. don't put your mouse over Antan.
Just blank out for all of us if you.
No.
That's so
No.
weird.
It's whenever I put my mouse on Zoom in general, it just makes Antan go away.
That is really weird.
It's a very specific bug.
Clearly, Zoom just does not like me.
It's just the way, like, I put my mouse on it and he just disappears. Welcome back, everyone. We are coming back in with the second half of our Tales from the Loop. So far, the kids have found out that mysterious things were going missing, that a capacitor is glowing, and Rob, the Nintendo Entertainment System add-on, turned babysitter of the Phoenix, went missing, but was found coming out of the sewers by the rock band Metal. And the kids have successfully rescued Rob and are continuing the mystery. So I think we'll pick up with you guys kind of walking down the street off to like just a little way out of the way to kind of look at Rob. And we'll
Should
start.
we head towards?
Yeah, we have to turn to go to see Jim.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys
Just
are,
down that street.
Yeah. So I think we'll cut to the camera sort of following you guys down the street, zooming in to you guys as you're walking and carrying Rob on your way to the Radio Shack.
I'm imagining that Derek has Krypton hooked up with kind of like a backpack thing so he can carry tools and stuff for him. So
Yeah.
I'm picturing like Rob is kind of laid out on Krypton, and like Andy and Derek are looking at Rob, and kind of Rick and I are just kind of making sure they don't run into stuff as we're walking towards the Radio Shack.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So take it away.
So can I see whether there's anything wrong with Rob's programming?
Right off the bat, you just know that Heather, whenever they found Rob, they turned Rob off, so that they could carry him easily, and they got really tired of them offering advice about the piercings and clothes, and so they just flipped him off.
Perhaps if it's better if we examine Rob in the Radio Shack, because then we can close the door.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes sense. So we can get to there. We arrive there. Does it look like there's a lot going on in the Radio Shack at this point? Is it busy with folks or no?
Derek, you've been in here a few times. Almost everyone in town always assumes that this Radio Shack, which is Jim's TV and electronical repair, and then like underneath it says Radio Shack, because somehow like he managed to get them to not build their own store. They just built on in the building next. They rented out like the thing next to them, and then they sort of just adjoined the two.
Jim is a powerful local brand.
Jim is
Radio Shack had to get in on it.
Yeah, Jim is on city council. He's that one guy on the city council that they just can't get off of city council, and who voices his opinions all the time.
Because he reads the manuals and then knows what to do.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Jim knows lots of things about technology, and that gets him a little power here and there. And he's read all of the codes for the city. Like, he knows. I mean, this guy's meticulous and oriented. And so you know that most of the time, anyone in Petaluma that needs something comes here, but always, like, gets up to the door and, like, is really unsure whether Jim's is open or not. Like,
I imagine like, Emma's doing that as we arrive. Like, guys, are you sure?
The windows are chock full of, like, electronics on display, TVs, weird bits of loop things, sensors, detectors, small little robots, and little armature farm equipment. Like it's just, and it's dark. I mean, you think lights are on in there. The sign says open, but it says open even when he's closed.
And
That's a good way to know if it's open. You push the door in.
Yep.
I'd imagine that Derek and Andy are both know this place well and therefore just walk straight in without this.
It's one of those. Also, the door is broken. Like it pushes in just fine, but if someone was to pull it, it doesn't pull. So a lot of people assume he's closed because they don't. It says push, but anyone who pulls, it's like, oh, he's closed.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And like, you got to push it. It's one of those like something's
The
wrong on the
regulars know
hinges.
this,
Yeah,
but-
it's supposed to pull and push, but something's wrong with the hitch, and it's like people pull on it, and they're like, ah. But most people, like normal people, would push and pull, and like, oh, it's open. But yeah, some people get fooled by that door, which is fine with Jim because he doesn't really like a lot of people coming in messing with his tech.
So I would walk in and just yell out whether I see him or not. I am Mr. Drake.
Is that Andy?
Yes, Mr. Drake.
Ah, Andy! Derek with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Drake.
Oh, excellent! Hang on. I'm a little indisposed. And you hear just sort of like a okay, I'm free! And you smell like ozone. And he comes out and he's this big fella. Big round fella, like crazy white hair. Think sort of like Doc Brown, but then also like the body of Grimace from McDonald's. Like, I mean, he's just a big guy.
I was just thinking like a weird Doc Brown
Hagrid.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
crossover
yeah, yes.
mashup.
It's like Doc Brown and Hagrid and that the big giant fuzzy monster from the Muppets
Yeah.
are one person. He's got like these overalls. He's got like these big, thick blue jean overalls on and an apron, and he's got there's tools everywhere. And he's got like a jeweler's lens, or I forget, like the jeweler's
Blue.
thing, and like some goggles up here, but then another pair of goggles, and then his glasses, and then a third pair of glasses. Like, and he's always like, where did I put my glasses? And he comes out and he's got like he's just covered in soot, and he's just like, what are you kids up to?
Well, first up, this circuit board, we need to have it fixed because I tried to do it and it's stupid and it didn't want to get fixed.
Oh, I mean that's some bad soldering, but did you do that?
Yeah, I didn't have enough space. People hanging over my shoulder.
Whoa, kid, you're competent. You know how competent you are. I believe in you. We all have our face. I mean, I just blew something up. I blew it up in my face.
It's probably like smoke wafting into the room from the back room.
Yeah, and then we removed this thing, and I'm still having it fixed to the pliers, and it's still good.
What is that? Well, that's weird.
We're not sure if it's radioactive, and Andy will die.
He like licks it. No, that's not radioactive. I've tasted radioactive before. That's not it. That's not it at all. But that's weird. But this isn't the first time I've seen this.
Oh,
No, I got a little box of these. And people have been stealing my stuff.
people been stealing your stuff?
Yeah, no, I'm missing stuff. You don't. A lot of people come in here and think I don't know where everything is, but I know where everything is.
Well,
And last night, I had a break-in. And there were some weird noises, some beep-a-boops, a lot of beep-a-boops. I didn't understand why there's so many beep-a-boops, but there were, and now I'm missing half of my circuitry.
I will look at Rob. What do you say?
I'm going to do the mock adult thing of putting my hands on my hips and looking down at Rob and going, Rob, have you been naughty? Knowing that
What do you guys got with Frank's robot?
It seems to have been stealing things from the arcade. Like, what did it steal, Rick?
Oh, we think maybe it took some pieces out of an amplifier. It was a chalk kit.
Chalk.
Yeah. But also, Rob wandered off on his own, which he never does.
He never leaves that building.
And Heather mentioned that he had come out of the sewer.
Oh, that the short kid, the one in that band, what's it called? 10.
Yeah.
Weird name for a band, 10. Not even that hard.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I'd go for something like Iron.
Yeah, but I mean, it describes the playing style as well. You know, it's not that hard.
I don't understand that, but okay.
They play the easy songs.
I like brass. You give me brass, I can listen to brass any day. Just give me all that big band, bibbum boppum. I'd be building things left and right, bibbum boppum, but not the beeper boops. That's what I heard last night.
And Andy very enthusiastically goes, yeah, and then timid again.
So you came to bring me this, and well, flip on Rob. Let's see what he's got to say for himself here. Like, though I don't think he's been stealing my stuff because. Let me show you, kids. Let me show you. Come on, and he like shows you towards the back door. And in the back door is like not like a glass door or anything like that. It's just like a solid wooden door. And there are 1, 2, 3. There are 4 just lines burned through the door. And they're probably like maybe a centimeter wide. And it looks like someone like if you like took a saw and like drilled through just like a handsaw and cut the blade through, it looks like someone like cut through, but there's 4 or 5 of them and they look burned around the edges. And it's like that's how they broke in.
Whoa.
That is cool.
Robot Renegade, cool.
Wait,
That's a great movie.
that it's up much higher than Rob would have done, and I thought you said Rob didn't have any tools or weapons.
Well, no.
I think we know
Emma
that
said
Rob
that
didn't
to
do this.
Derek. Right.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So perhaps there's a bigger robot then.
Well, can we turn Rob back on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there should be a button.
Yeah, I'll flick the switch.
Drinking coffee at a young age could stunt your growth.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thanks, Rob.
Rob,
Andy, you have a question.
I have a question. Do you know where you are?
One moment, scanning. I am in Jim's TV and electronic repair shop.
Why did you leave the Phoenix?
The light said so.
What light?
The lights.
Which lights?
Nah. I'm sorry, Andy. My programming seems incapable of answering that question. Please restate it in a question I understand.
What gave off the lights?
Light.
Are these lights part of the Phoenix?
No. The lights told me to bring them things, and I brought them things.
Are these connected to these? And I will.
The lights speak through things.
Okay.
The lights told you to go to the sewer?
The sewer is the quickest way to the energy depot.
Energy depot?
Yes.
Just around it, everybody.
Is this part of the loop?
I don't know what that role would kind of be to know what that is. How does one figure out information like this? Comprehend.
Ooh, I'll do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That sounds right.
Someone
Let me
wants
do
to
that.
help someone with the comprehend.
I got a 3 and still no success.
You don't want me helping on a comprehend.
Comprehend. I think you need to have the skill to help as well. So I have 1 in comprehend, so I can help.
What's that allow me to do?
For each person that helps, I think you roll an extra die.
Okay, and that's just a d6.
Yep. Nope.
4. So yes, it is incomprehensible.
What else is near the energy depot, Rob?
The PPCC.
Right.
Oh, the cricket club.
I don't think they.
They do not play cricket at the PPCC.
Also, Andy, what the hell is cricket?
It's funny you should ask that.
We don't have time.
I don't think we have time for this.
We're gonna smash cut to a 25-minute explanation of cricket.
There's I'll pause you guys just momentarily. There's a very funny little description of what cricket is that's thoroughly confusing. Unfortunately, I can't remember it.
We'll say that Andy has said that, and you all just sort of stare blankly back at Andy. Because Andy
wants
is
those 25 minutes of his life back.
Yeah, Andy is from the UK, and you're still learning some things about the cultural differences.
It's a sport.
You know that there's wickets involved or something like that?
You lost me there.
Never mind. Carry on.
So we gotta go check out this energy depot, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds better than getting into the sewers, but do we know how to get to the energy depot?
Sewers?
Well, we know where the PPCC is.
So I'll give you a little information about Petaluma and California in general. When it rains, it pours, but it doesn't always rain. And the sewers are big enough for kids of your age to travel through. And you know, a lot of kids go tooling around under town in the summertime. Dustin's never done this. Don't tell his mother.
Not from experience, but it worked very similarly in upstate New York.
And like there are big drains, and you can pretty much travel all across the town and then pop out in various sections. And you know that there are kids that do that, and this is the 80s, and parents let their kids do this, and there was hardly any ever danger.
I am certain that Rikta has done this many times.
You know, some of the storm drains that kind of exit out into the river have some really great acoustics. You know, you have to practice just some like acoustical guitar and things like that. And but you know that there's certain clubs that meet here in the summer. So you know that there is an easy way to get. And so, Jim sort of overhears you guys. You're not going anywhere near the PPC. You know that that's off limits. DARPA's got that under tight control.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
totally.
yeah.
We're not going to go
Yeah.
anywhere near there
Yeah,
That's good. I'm glad you're listening to adults.
yeah,
all the time.
Like, really, you guys should just head on home. Like, you know,
Can you help fix us the circuit board?
Oh yeah, no, Derek, come on over here. Come on over here. Let's sit down and, you know, there's always good teaching moments. And so, he kind of takes you into another room, sets the board down. You know, he kind of cleans off the solder. And he gets a good capacitor. And like hands you all the tools that you need. And like, now you know, you got this. Just take a deep breath. You know what happens when you get angry around electronics? Them electronics bite you back. You gotta keep a cool head. They are out to get you, and you gotta be a master.
That's bears.
Well, it's also robot bears.
What about robot cows?
Robot cows will bite you. Any robots will bite you.
No, they won't.
I know, I'm just kidding. But seriously, just, you know, breathe. Let me turn on some lights. I believe in you. I'm not gonna fix this for you. I'm gonna let you fix it because I know that you got this, Derek. I mean, look at the stuff you've built. Simple board, simple problem.
While Jim and Derek are doing that kind of over in that next room, Emma will turn to Rick and Andy and he'll say to Rick, hey, didn't we take that picture for Wolf Winter by that one like real easy entrance to the sewer that was around here somewhere? You know, where it was looking all that you know, kind of that rubble thing we thought would make a good band picture.
Yeah,
Wasn't there an easy way to get into the sewer right by there?
absolutely. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I think maybe when we're done here, we might want to check out maybe where Rob might have been taking all that stuff.
Oh, that was
Andy
my
just
plan.
Andy just has his fingers in his ears and he's going la 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 la.
And for the sake of it, Nicklas, I'm gonna say that you get that board fixed, but in the working with Jim sort of clears your condition.
Yay!
Or
Nice.
you are no longer angry. You are a calm, cool.
Well,
Derek.
not cool because
Well, you're now a calm, collected Derek Wilkins. He's like, all right, kids. You know, if you want to leave Rob here with me, I can fix him up for you. I'll take him back to Frank.
Yeah, that's good. Can you take the circuit board with you as well then?
Oh yeah, no, sure. I'll tell him that you did a great job on it too. Maybe he could get you working on some of that other stuff.
Yeah, when you take Rob back, can you just let Frank know that we found him and that I could definitely use some more stage time?
Don't you need a band for? You're going solo. That's so cool.
Yeah, anyway, stage time. Make sure you
Right.
mention that to Frank.
Right, Rick. Stage time. Found Rob. Yeah, no, sure, I can do that. I'm just about to close up for lunch anyway. Gonna head over to Padroni's, get me some of that sweet potato salad. Why do I keep doing this? That potato salad is fucking amazing. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Writing itself here.
You can kind of tell that Petaluma had a huge impact on my foodiness. Anyway, Padroni's potato salad. Padroni's closed down, but the family still makes the potato salad in Lombardi's. A lot of Italians moved to Petaluma, so there's a lot of Italian families. But anyway, the Lombardi's made sourdough bread for 50 some odd years. But yes, sorry. Oh my god.
I kind of now want you next time you stream when you go into the food digest food things, move over to a different scene where it's just you and you have a food info dump and then you go back to the game.
Oh yeah. That's
You
that's
need to
a
have
great
chef's-
idea.
Chef's hat.
You need a chef's hat.
Yeah. The food in Petaluma. No, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
And the title, Dusty's Food Plane.
Yes. So he kind of like shuffles you all out, locks the door, doesn't flip the sign to closed, leaves it open.
Further confusing anyone who comes to the shop.
And you kind of see him shuffle on back towards the back. Headed to Padroni's for a nice roast beef sandwich and some potato salad.
We'll totally go home now.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
And then we'll take the nearest detour towards that sewer entrance.
Yes. Okay. And so, right across, you're only like a block away from the river, and the Petaluma River really isn't a river per se because it's actually, I mean, it's a little bit of a river, but it's really affected by the tides of the Bay Area because the Bay Area kind of has this whole marsh towards the northern part of it. And this is because the Petaluma River sort of stops. It becomes a tiny little creek really quick. But it's enough always standing water that there's some boats there. There's some, people do a little canoeing, but there's a bridge kind of that goes across and some docks. And you know that if you go down,
Right under the bridge.
right under the bridge, there's a big culvert, and that sort
Perfect.
of connects to a lot of the other.
Yeah.
The
This is
culverts
definitely
in the
where all
city.
the cool, like, bad kids hang out.
Oh yeah, and normally like Metal's down there smoking and stuff, but you know that they're off.
Eating
You
butter
know.
horns.
Yeah, they're off eating butter horns.
Exactly why we took band pictures down here. It's exactly that scene. Yep.
And in the summer it gets it's a little smelly, just because the water hasn't been refreshed in a while. So it just kind of sits there, and it's never clear. It's always this light coffee with cream brown. Always, it's never a clear. Even in the rainy season, it's just coffee brown. Coffee with creamer brown. Just think it's just that light tan color all the time. The blue on the map does not give it justice because it's always brown. So yeah, I think we kind of get the scene of coming up the river a little bit and like focusing in on the culvert, and we just see you four going into the shadows.
Emma is currently carrying her field hockey stick at this point.
Yeah, you kind of see like as they're going in, Emma's like in the front,
Yep.
got the field hockey like this. And you guys arranged how you want.
Can I add a condition for RP reasons?
Sure. That is always a yes. What condition are you interested in, Antan?
Scared.
Ah, perfect.
So Andy is going, guys, are you sure we should be going down here? Is it safe?
It's safer than the woods.
Nice
okay.
relative explanation.
It's okay. Kids do it all the time. We'll be okay.
Okay. But I'll still be scared.
That's
Yes.
fair. No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, so you guys start going through.
I will crouch down a little bit and give Krypton a little, ruffle up.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Yeah, because Krypton's sort of like.
I know it smells bad, but yeah, it's just a short time.
Oof, oof. And like Krypton's like got his nose down, sniffing, and brings it up every now and then when he thinks he hears something. Yeah, so you guys start making your way through, and as you're going along, you sort of hear, you hear some weird sounds. You hear sort of like a, and then you hear sort of like a, and it's really hard to try to kind of figure out because it's echoing through the tunnels. And you guys have come to a couple crossways, and you've, you know the general direction, so you know which kind of general direction to take. to head towards the PPCC. And
Do you hear that?
Yeah, that's not usually down here.
I mean,
Could is there any likelihood that I would know what the noises represented?
you guys, I mean, being in here, you guys all kind of feel like you're in the arcade room at the
Yeah.
Phoenix. Like, I mean, this is what it sounds like. You're in an arcade room, but you're in the sewer.
did Metal steal an arcade machine and put it down here?
I mean, that would be
No.
pretty
Damn
metal,
it.
but like,
Yeah,
all
they are not
there.
that metal.
They were all there when we
you
left.
know, it's always one of those things where you label yourself as what you want to be, but that makes you not what you want. Yeah.
You can't give yourself a nickname.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I guess we keep pressing forward to see if we can discover what's making these sounds.
Yeah, if you guys want to do, let's see, if you want to do a investigate, anyone that feels like they want to try and look through, as you're getting close, the sounds are getting louder, but you can't really tell if they're getting closer or not.
I'll let people who are good at that do that.
Yeah, I failed completely.
Or maybe I'll roll just in case. Maybe I'll succeed.
Nope.
We are investigators.
Oh!
There we go.
Yay, Derek, saving us all.
They all rolled stream, and only Nicklas got a success. So yeah, go ahead and ask some questions if you feel so inclined.
Yeah, let me open it up again. What does it mean?
So you hear these sounds, and there's definitely something going on here. And you get the sense, sort of as like you're like investigating, you get the sense that the closer you get to the PPC, the closer you're getting to these sounds, wherever they come from. Even though they're echoing through the thing, you're definitely getting closer to whatever these is causing these sounds.
And how can I get into there?
So all of you kids kind of know that the DARPA has pretty much locked down most of any of the sewers that come through, and you guys all know through your explorations that if you keep going this way, you're going to reach one of the main hubs off of the PPCC, and there is a big metal gate there, and it's locked pretty tight. But you know that if you take the tube that goes off from the left from that one, and you go around, there's a smaller gate, and it has like an access panel. And you guys always have some stories about this, because this sewer tube around the side looks like a sewer tube, but it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it has this dead end that looks like it's just concrete. And you guys you don't know what's past that concrete. But it looks like concrete, but also sort of like a door, but all the kids have always tried to like get in and at it, but they can't. So you know that there's a little gate that has an access panel in there, and that you can probably get in that way. It'd be quicker to hack that access panel to get further on into the system underneath DARPA or PPCC.
Yeah, Rick's wanted to get in there for a long time, but he wasn't about to bring Andy down here. Andy doesn't look like he's doing well as it is down here.
Like with every like, boop, boop, bing, bing. Yeah, Andy is just like jumping at every little sound. And
So
like
we
even
will.
even Krypton has sort of like kind of like walked up next to Andy and just like done that dog nudge sort of thing.
Nice.
You're like, just you're okay.
Thanks for that as well.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to help, and so he just snuffs and goes ahead.
So we get to that. We'll follow those tunnels, and we get to where that small gate and access panel is. Is there anything weird about that like we encounter getting to there, or that is staged there around that panel, or anything?
As you guys are getting close to that panel, you do see little bits and pieces of electronics and things. And when you actually guys get up to that gate, the grate, with the access panel, there are similar weird lines burned through the metal,
Like at Jim's back door.
like at Jim's back door.
Does this mean we can just open the?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No,
do
it's the gate's still like sealed around, just like it right in the middle of this sort of solid metal with and it's got like a couple little portholes just to allow air access through. Which is, you always thought this was weird too, because every other grate in here has just a grating to let water run through it. But it looks like this whole tunnel looks like it's a sewer, but it's never wet, it's never dank, and it goes sort of at an angle down to that big concrete door. So you're wondering what this is actually used for. So it's a mostly solid metal gate, and it just right in the middle of it has these 3 lines burned all through, but it's still locked with the keypad and stuff.
Are there any lights in this tunnel? Or are there what I would expect to be just some candle stumps and things like that if people were actually hanging out here when they shouldn't have been?
For the most part, it's again, this is another thing where you're like, why is this tunnel is weird. There is some lighting just in this one, and it goes down towards that concrete thing, and it's sort of like motion activated. When you get in here, you hear the chunk, and then it all kind of comes on.
Oh yeah, creepy
Nice.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like all the kids wonder what the hell is with this tunnel.
aliens.
I mean, we don't know.
Would it be plausible that I have a torchlight
Yeah, you can have.
on
Oh, yeah.
Krypton's
Yeah.
bag?
Yeah, totally.
Then I will use that to light into the holes in the grate and try to see if there's something behind there.
Yeah, you shine the light in there, and all of a sudden, some of those noises get a little louder. Boom, boom, and you think you see like a faint glow farther down that tube. But you definitely, shining your light down there has triggered some noise.
Something knows from here.
Because you take it away and you put it back, and you take it away and you put it back, and every time you put the light back in one of the smaller holes, you hear some noise. You can deduce that there's something happening there.
There's a synth band back here.
Can I attempt to hack the access panel?
You may attempt to program.
I will help.
And actually, Emma would like to kind of do a little kind of pep talk to Andy before he tries that. Like do a little bit of like, hey, look, this is one of those access panels. I don't know what's going on in here, but this is like the stuff that you do all the time. And, just really kind of focus. Hey, explain what's going on here. Get him to like just start talking in, his kind of computer stuff that she doesn't really get, but just to kind of try and recenter him before he does all that.
You can also use a luck point if you have.
Yeah, you can use luck to re-roll a failed roll.
Okay. So I've got an assist.
Well, and can I do can I do like a lead roll to see if I can't get some dice to
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah.
to give to Andy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's get your good leadership skills in here.
Yeah, if you lead, if you get one success, you give 2 dice. 2 successes, 4 dice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
2 successes.
You
So we
give
have a
four.
four
You have
dice pool
4
right
dice
now.
pool that you can use.
Okay.
So you can
So it's
distribute. I think you can distribute those however you want.
Yep.
In
It's up
any.
to Emma.
Yeah.
Where those get distributed to. And you don't have to distribute them now. Like you could give 2 to Andy right now and hold on to 2.
That sounds like a wise choice, so I will do exactly that.
Okay.
And is Derek also helping me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think yeah.
Okay. So, hang on. That doesn't work. Roll.
No.
No.
No. And I got another condition, haven't I?
No. Well, that means you. In that case, you need to reroll all of them.
How many
Getting a 1.
dice would you normally have in that skill?
In the program.
So I got a +3. So that's 6 in total, -1 for the condition. And I've just rolled an extra 3
Yeah.
2 from Emma and 1 from Derek.
But yeah, if you want to re-roll, if you push yourself, you get a condition. If you use a luck point, you don't get a condition.
Yeah, and you may as well use your luck. I mean, it doesn't.
Okay, so what does luck do?
It
Luck
means
just
that
lets you straight re-roll
All of them,
all of the dice. Yep.
all of the dice.
including the extra ones.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. So let's run the program one first. Still no successes, and then an extra 3d6.
Come on, Andy.
There we
Yay!
go.
There we go. There's a success. So this, you guys all,
That was very nerve-wracking.
yeah, Andy is up there working on stuff.
I have rolled
So like you go.
16 dice and only got
Yeah.
one success.
So Antan, describe what this looks like to everybody as Andy walks up there and starts hacking on this thing. I
I'm
imagine
gonna
he
say
looks
it's
sort of scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's sort of shaking a little bit, and he's sort of working around the access point, and sort of going, "Oh yeah, I know these. Yeah, it sort of works like that and that, and but there's this here, and that's a bit more complicated, and." Oh yeah, you do it like this, and then a little bit later, yeah, there you go.
a couple iterations of, oh yeah, you do it like this.
Yeah.
And then finally you get a and the lock opens and the gate kind of opens away.
Nice job, Andy.
Thank you. And then I get scared again.
Yeah, and so you guys move down the tunnel.
I think Emma's still probably leading.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll step in front if we're going through that gate.
And so you guys travel for a little ways, and you come to, you're basically kind of under the PPCC now, and the tunnel opens up into a larger room, and it's sort of it's that iconic like tiled walls, like you'd see like in old electrical buildings. It's
Yep.
all like, or like a subway tunnel kind of tiled. And there's like a little, it looks like there's a bunch of power meters and things like that, and it definitely looks like there's this bundle of cable that kind of comes up out of the floor and splits out in different parts. So this is sort of like some sort of substation, but it's got all of this other stuff attached to it. And before you see a 3-foot tall image of something you recognize. Actually, two of them. It's Bub and Bob from Bubble Bobble. Glowing, pixelated, 3 feet tall, and they're sort of blowing bubbles at each other, and they're bouncing around. And then it's the weirdest thing when they turn. It's almost like they disappear.
Oh no.
It's almost like they're
Two-dimensional.
but there's a little bit of a line you can kind of see, and they kind of hop off and they turn around, and then you hear the boop, and a little Mario, because Mario Brothers, when Frank got that NES and hooked it up in the room, you guys were all like, what? There had been an Atari in there and your Pitfall and all that stuff, but that's Super Mario Brothers with that Mario and Luigi. Legit what I used to call it before I knew how to say Luigi. Plus he was green. Anyway, you see a little turtle walk by, and the Mario comes by and jumps on it and jumps off of it, and then the turtle pops back out. And they seem to be electronic parts are kind of hovering in front of them, and they're plugging in things. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
Wait, like they're physical objects that they're interacting with?
Yes. But they're also they're bit characters, but in your world right now. And they're doing
they're
something
like two-dimensional.
Yeah, and they're doing something to that thing in the middle. And like Bub and Bob are blowing a bubble, and it's surrounding a piece of electronics, and it floats up and it like turns sideways, and you see the object in it, but it's also like a line, and then it plugs in. And go ahead and roll me a sneak, everyone. If you want to try and avoid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try. It probably won't go well, but
Oh, there's
wow.
Success. Oh.
Wow, that's
oh my God,
better than I expected.
You guys are all sneaky.
Except for Andy, right?
Well,
Probably.
I'm apparently too scared.
But I'm just, I'm gonna say that, yeah.
Team success.
So
Team success.
Team success to a point. Emma's like up front, moving slowly forward. Everyone else is sort of behind. Andy's like in the far, far behind. And you're walking closer and closer, and you're getting out into where this opens up into a thing. And then there's a little bloop, and you hear a little whoop from Andy, and everything stops in the room. And all the pixels turn and look at you.
Oh.
And they all start getting excited. They all start bouncing up and down. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I can't mimic Super Mario Brother jump, but the jump sound. Ba-dum, ba-dum. And then Mario kind of goes and grows up a little bit, and then goes shrinks down, and they're all like coming towards you.
Guys.
And give me empathize if you want.
I can do that.
Yeah.
All of us?
Well, I usually can, but not today, apparently.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Oh, nice. the two techies understand the video games.
That makes some sense.
So Derek and Andy, I mean, you're a little like put off by this. This is a weird thing, but you can ask me 2 questions between the two of you.
Okay. What will they do?
They seem to be trying to get your attention.
What do they want?
So Bub and Bob kind of bounce up to both of you, and they do their little 8-bit dance. And they kind of get that you can't really understand them, and so they Bub and Bob go off to this corner, and they both blow a bubble, and it catches up some pieces of chalk, and it floats towards you, and it pops and drops at your feet.
Okay.
You want to play hopscotch?
The 8-bit look confused.
I'll pick up some of the chalk.
Oh.
Let's see. How can I get you guys to figure
Yes.
this? This is a new system, so I don't like
Comprehend?
Yes, someone roll me a comprehend.
Definitely not Rick's
I'll do
strong
it.
suit.
I'll do it.
Oh,
Chris,
shoot.
Jeez.
So
It's the
Andy,
best roll we've had the entire game.
Andy, you remember, you see the chalk, and then you see the things that can't really speak, and you remember in the library, and you remember some videos that you've watched in school where they're dealing with like primates, and they're trying to teach them to like do like language and stuff, and they had like the alphabet written across a board, and they would like kind of try and teach them words by pointing at letters and things like that. And you kind of get the sense that maybe they wanted you guys to do something similar. They want to communicate with you.
Okay. Is there an alphabet anywhere, or do I need to write?
You feel like with the chalk you may need to write, and there's enough space on some of the there's a concrete kind of section of the wall that you think you could probably. I mean, it's colored chalk. You could probably get something up there.
I will write a small box.
Mhm.
I will write yes, and I will write another small box no, and then I will make one that says don't know.
They seem really excited as you're writing all these things. Now you can sort of attempt to. So as you write this, then you hear this, and the shooting thing from what game was that?
Space Invaders?
Yeah, Space Invaders comes along the floor, along the wall, and is now sitting underneath all those little boxes that you have, and it's like
Oh,
moving.
nice.
It's moving back and forth.
Oh, this is amazing.
What are you doing outside of the video game?
It's not a yes or no
It
question.
need to be yes.
I also don't know.
Yeah, so it moves over to the don't know and shoots up a little 8-bit pixel thing that goes doo 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 doo.
Emma's just turning to Rick and like, are we in a game? Like,
I don't know. But ask it some yes/no questions.
Do you know what's happening?
It moves doo 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 over under the yes and shoots up a doo 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 to yes.
Okay. We can get answers. Yes, this is good. Have you had a butterhorn?
It moves over under the don't know. It shoots up.
Are we in danger?
It moves under the yes for a second, but then moves under the no and shoots up underneath the no.
Sure about that hesitation.
Right.
Were you built by DARPA.
It moves under the no and shoots up a no.
Were you built by aliens?
It moves under the no, it hesitates, and then moves under the yes. It shoots at the yes, and then it moves under the no and shoots at the no.
What does that mean?
Well, to them, perhaps we are aliens as well. So I mean,
It moves. Oh, if you say that out loud, do you say that out loud?
yeah.
It moves under the yes and shoots under the yes.
Hey, ask them if Rob brought them here.
I mean, you can ask.
It moves under and shoots the no.
Are you the lights that Rob?
It moves
Those
under.
receiving
It,
special
it,
from.
it shoots at yes.
Did you escape thanks to the glowing capacitors?
It moves. It moves under the no. But it's doing that hesitating again. Like it wants it. There's a piece of that is a yes, but like
Did you
because
cause the glowing capacitor?
it shoots under the no really quick. Meanwhile, there's other 8-bit figures that are still working on that wire thing behind you. Like,
Yeah.
Is there another way out of this room, or like to move on further, or is it just the way we came in?
it shoots under the yes.
Is there a robot with laser beams ahead?
It shoots under the no.
Okay. Did anyone in this room make the hole in the grate?
It moves under the yes. And one of them the Mario comes up and turns to its side and goes into the wall, and you see a burn mark, and then it comes back out of the wall and turns to its side, so you can see the full-on Mario.
Are you working on this? And I'll point to the bundle of stuff in the center. Are you working on this to help yourselves?
It shoots under the yes really quickly.
Do you want to get back into the games?
It hesitates, but it shoots the yes.
Do you know what has caused you to leave the games?
It shoots under the yes, and then a few of Bub and Bob are towards the back of this room. You see a door, and it says PPCC, and it says PPCC entry. And then there's like on the thing, it looks like it might be an elevator, because on the list there's some buttons. Well, there's one button. Sorry, elevators work. The buttons are on the inside of the elevator. But there's an elevator button that says up and down, and they're bouncing around that.
Are you being free the intended effect of whatever caused it?
What was the question?
Are you being free the intended effect of whatever is causing it?
It shoots under the no.
Should we go check out the PPCC?
It shoots under the yes.
Is going into the PPCC dangerous?
It shoots under the don't know.
Will you help us?
It shoots under the yes.
I will push a button on the lift.
They all start bouncing up, making 8-bit sounds. They're like really excited.
We're going up the elevator?
Up the elevator.
All right.
There's an elevator. We need to take it up.
So you push the button and you wait and you wait. And
There's only one button, not like an up and a down, just like a...
There is an up and a down.
Okay.
But I mean, you see that down button and you're like, but we're in the sewers. What's
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask the 8-bit thing. Are we going up?
shoots yes.
Much better.
Is this This is one of those where you call the lift by pushing the down button because you want it to go down?
Well,
Well,
no, you push the up button because you want to go up, and I
then
don't know.
it calls it down. It's elevators.
Or maybe there's just
It
one
never
button.
ma- yeah,
you
there
push
might-
it comes, and then you push which direction you want to go inside.
Yeah, I've
I
made it
have
confusing.
lifts like those.
Yeah,
So,
that's
The
weird.
PPCC builds very complex elevators, guys.
Yeah. And so the door opens, and it's just like your typical just metal elevator, real sterile. And you get inside, and you see a list of things. There's like mech maintenance. There's PPC main floor. There's PPC research and development. And then there's roof access.
Can any of the 8-bit things see this sign?
Uh,
If they come to the elevator or anything?
they come in and like follow you, and so the Space Invaders one kind of comes up along the wall, and it's now like here's the list, and now it's moving up and down on the list, and it rolls up to where the roof access is, and it shoots a bunch of times, and the little pixel thing goes, but then it ends up going all the way around the elevator, and it's just,
Right.
until it
All right,
fades away.
Gonna press the roof access button.
I make sure everybody's on and we're ready to go.
Okay.
but they had someone that said mechs.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean,
Remember, we're not
they had a
supposed to be
Gundam here.
here. There's a good chance somebody else is where the mechs are. We can't go there right now.
Okay. I'm gonna build my own then.
So you guys push the roof access, the doors close, you feel that jolt as the elevator starts moving up, and it's just like bing, bing,
is there elevator music?
bing. There is not elevator music.
Ah,
It's really way to go, DARPA. Just build a boring elevator. It's just the
Yeah.
hum of the fluorescent light. And
So I stand there and start humming Greensleeves.
Nice.
our own elevator music.
and then it stops just before the roof access. No, it stops on the roof access, and the doors open up. And it's a long tunnel, and you see sort of a door at the end of that tunnel, and one guard sitting in a chair. And it seems that roof access is a real boring job, and he's in that chair asleep. And you've seen DARPA officials. He's sitting there. He's got his weapon, but he is in that chair, and he is out because no one comes up this elevator that often. And the 8-bits all kind of start bouncing around and making noise. They try to be quiet. Okay, they sort of hustle down, and like it's the 8-bit noises get like really muted. They're still making them, but they're like it's like the volume goes down.
Yeah.
Do we need them to come with us?
Well, they said they were gonna help.
Right.
It's sort of boop, 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 boop.
Shh.
So you guys, if you want to get down to this hall, give me a sneak.
So we can't just bull rush them.
There's still two dice pool from the lead.
That's
I
true.
think.
Yep.
Yeah. Should we?
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, maybe you should give out those 2 dice and let some people re-roll them.
Yeah.
Might help.
And anyone that hasn't used their luck yet, feel free to use your
I
luck.
haven't used my luck, so
So I'm gonna give Andy and Derek each a die.
Okay.
And then
And
if you're gonna
so-
use luck, you can re-roll all of them.
Right.
Yeah. But that means, yeah.
Come on, Derek.
Yeah, I am just a little bit rusty. But then I will re-roll all of them. So sneak.
Oh no.
Man.
Second luck point, I think.
I will probably also push it then.
Okay,
I will take scared.
that's a legitimate one.
And I think,
Hey!
Hey, nice.
Oh, that's Anton though.
Oh,
yeah.
so Anton gets sneaky. Oh, nice.
And then I will use one of my luck points to re-roll my sneak also, because it looks like we've gotten everybody else to get a success.
Yep. Oh
Yeah, there we
go. Yeah. So describe to me how you all sneak past this, because I need to run to the bathroom really quick, but I have my headphones on. So
Yeah.
feel free to, set up this scene of you guys sneaking through this guard.
So I think Rick is the only one who makes this look easy because I succeeded on the initial roll. So I mean, Rick has done a lot of sneaking around the sewers and stuff. He's done a lot of sneaking around places he's not supposed to be in general. So he sees the sleeping guy and he indicates to the 8-bit things to be quiet and everyone else to be quiet. And he just sort of creeps over and he's wearing his ratty old Converse, which don't make any noise at all. He just sneaks right past this guy and then he sort of waves to the rest of you and indicates to be quiet.
So I will probably follow Rick immediately behind. I'll get about halfway down and probably wobble a bit and then catch myself. Probably put my hand on the wall or something and then carry on and just get past.
And I think Emma is going to do this sort of thing where she's trying to both sneak out, but also kind of position herself right in front of this sleeping guy and kind of wave people to kind of try and pass behind her. And she's trying to line up the 8-bit guys so they're going by where if the guy wakes up, he just sees like the really thin like edge of them. And she's trying to be all coordinated about it without saying anything. And, it's not being communicated real well, but some of it's working.
And I think as you're doing this, the guard's just sort of sitting there like, and like everyone, like there's a couple times where he's like,
Yeah.
and he like rolls, and then
Emma's just treating it like a big game of freeze tag. As soon as he snores, like everybody stop.
And Derek will start the sneak, and then I'm thinking it looks a little bit like Krypton is going up to the guard, which is where the scared comes from. So grabbing a hold of Krypton and just no, not.
yeah, Grimdark like sees he's like starts moving over towards and like is about to like, do the little put the head up there and
Yeah, no, not.
Yeah. Butterhorns.
Ah,
I think we have the name of my next band.
Butterhorn.
Butterhorn.
you should have got a better horns.
And so you guys go over to it's a smaller, this is just like one long hall. Like, why did they just make one hall? There's no other doors. And there's like another small little elevator, and you push the button, and you all get in. And this scene kind of ends with the doors closing and a little 8-bit guy lagging behind, and it like managed to slide in just before the doors, and the guard kind of goes, huh, what? Oh, hate this. As the doors close, and he doesn't really pay attention as the elevator moves on. And you guys go up to the roof. And the elevator opens up on the roof. And it's getting a little, you guys have been out for most of the day. This kind of started in the afternoon. You guys have been out. The sun is sort of setting. It's not setting completely, but there's this, it's like golden hour, and like the light. You're up above. You can see all of Petaluma. You can see the church bells of St. Vincent's. You can see the main drag. You can see the river, and you can see Eastern Petaluma, which no one ever talks about because if you're from the east side, you're not from Petaluma. Though, as a history, Petaluma developed on the west side of the river, and then the east Petaluma is just like, oh my god, you live on the east Petaluma? Like, that's where all the new expansion has happened. So mostly it's still mostly empty. There's a little mall, not a mall, but there's like a shopping center and stuff over there. But it's East Petaluma, and it goes out for a ways, and there's
Those
dairy
people.
farms, and then there's
So real, Dusty. So real.
and then there's the Sonoma Mountains on the other side of it, which I mean they're big golden rolling hills with oak trees and stuff like that, and off to that side, and you can kind of see the whole thing from up here, and it's the golden hour. And so ahead of you, you see what looks like a normal roof, but there's a person standing there, and there's a bunch of tubes and wires kind of coming up out of different access panels and ports, and it's all pointing into this thing that sort of looks like a D4, but it's a big metal cage, but it's shaped like a pyramid. And it's up on this pedestal, and it's glowing this white thing, and it's you kind of, as you step out of the doors, you can feel the hair on your arms, like it's like a thunderstorm. You know, you can feel like the static electricity and stuff. And she's sitting there and tinkering with it. A couple times she's like banging on it. She's like, why isn't this working? Work. And the 8-bits are all bouncing around now, and they're bouncing around you, and like even the Space Invaders is on the ground, and it's moving back and forth, and it keeps just shooting a little 8-bit thing towards that
Pyramid.
and they're all kind of looking at you and like looking at it. And she hasn't noticed you at all. She is focused on this thing.
I'd like to feel like I would look out over the town and go, hey, I can see my house from here. Not too loudly.
That's fair.
Okay,
Should this thing be shut down? Have a look at the 8-bits.
They get really excited.
Okay.
Eric, Andy, you think you can shut this down?
Possible, but we need to get up there first. And
so you're on. So just to get you a better picture of it, you came up on the elevator, and it's the roof, and then it's like a little upward addition to the roof, and she's standing up on that.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a center platform on this whole big roof, and so the roof has got the gravel kind of on it, like for insulation sort of purposes.
Yep.
If you're familiar with that type of insulation, they just put gravel on the top. And then she's up on this other platform, and she seems to be where she's building this sort of like device.
How high is that upper platform that she's on?
It's probably 5 feet up. You can see like access ladders and stuff along the sides and tubing and stuff. I mean, it's on each corner of that giant square platform. There are these huge bundles of tubes and wires, and some of it's given off like a little bit of like steam. You think that maybe some of these are like cooling, like there's some sort of something running through here to keep it cool, and it's, you know, steaming out in the warm summer evening air. And it's all pumped into this big box that then has this pyramid that's kind of glowing and shifting. It's sort of like a prism of colors swirling through there, but it's like a muted kind of pastel-y prism of colors.
Do we
Got a plan.
recognize the woman?
I'm sorry, she's standing up on the 5-foot platform in front of that machine, tweaking some levers here, and like the colors are changing in that.
Is she wearing like a uniform? Does she look like she belongs here?
She's in a white, like just your white
coat.
lab coat. Science. She looks, you know, her hair's pulled back in a braid.
Do we know who she is?
I mean, you can only see the back of her. You don't recognize her at all.
Rick kneels down and grabs a handful of the gravel
Mhm.
that's on the roof, and he hands a couple pieces to Emma. I got a plan. We can hide underneath the lip of the platform. Use this gravel to get her attention. Andy and Derek can get up on the platform from one of these access ladders. See what they can do about shutting it down.
I'm game.
Okay, so you guys you all want to go up to that?
Yeah, up to the platform,
Up
but
to-
hiding
and-
underneath.
So yeah,
like
get under the wall. So like, if she's looking out, she doesn't see you. She
Right.
has to be like over and standing over the edge, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I hate to have you do it again, but
we have to sneak again, huh?
give me a good old sneak.
Wow, this is going great.
Oh, well, Emma gets there.
Yeah. I am going to assume that Krypton barks.
Yeah, like you guys start like moving all slowly, and the
I'm
lady.
gonna use my luck.
Okay.
Okay.
Luck point to reroll.
So Emma like grabs the
Hey.
like it looks like, oh nice. So this works out great for you two.
We can work with this.
Not quite
Yeah.
the plan you wanted. So you two describe how you like get up to the, how you guys sneak up to the thing, and then Derek and Andy describe how you guys get your attention drawn.
So I think we're creeping up to it, and at first Rick starts to catch some of the gravel, and it starts to crunch. But then he sort of shifts his weight, like he sees the woman start to like react like she's heard something. And he shifts his weight, and then he sort of scrambles quickly underneath the lip of the platform.
And Emma knows that sometimes counterintuitively, sometimes going faster actually is better than going really slow when you're trying not to be seen. So she is going to have kind of serpentined but like kind of speedily got over to kind of that corner of the platform where they're trying to get to.
Yeah, I feel like this is just like, like all of you see this probably, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's like Emma on the field is what this looks like. Like Emma
Absolutely.
knows how to maneuver, and it's just like boom, 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 slide there, like. And then you hear a woof, woof.
I'm
Okay,
going
so-
to, as soon as I hear Krypton barking, I'm going to take one of the pieces of gravel and try to chuck it at the woman from the angle where I am. I'm thinking fast.
So
Go ahead, Anton.
as Krypton starts barking, Andy is sort of halfway across and trips and falls. And so I'm gonna grab some of the gravel as I do so, throw it towards the edge of the roof. So it's sort of like very loud noise, but like sort of birds you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And
This
then
will
I'm
totally
just
work.
gonna run the rest of the way.
Okay, well, she turns at the bark, and she sees Derek and Krypton, and then she sees this kid scramble and throw some rocks off the sides, and start running towards her, and she's like, "Stop! What's going on?" And then, boom, ah, you two, what are you doing? Stop! And so Andy, you don't really get that far. You get stopped like right there. It's like,
Okay.
what are you kids doing up here? How did you get up here? What are you? This is important experiment stuff. Like,
Yeah, we'd seen the effects of it, and I will point to the 8 bits.
what are those?
Yeah. This thing has been stealing game characters and put them into the real life. You need to stop.
Game characters? You mean like a Nintendo?
As Derek's talking to her, I'm gonna try to sneak up one of the other access ladders.
I got my son one of those Nintendos. Is that what you're talking about? Sorry, my mom still to this day calls it a Nintendo.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Is Super Mario with us?
Yeah, he's right
Yeah,
there.
and I will point to him.
No, what this that's not. I don't know what that is. This is not causing that. This is a shield. I'm protecting the town in case the Soviets decide to attack us. This is my prototype for a shield that will cover the entirety of Petaluma.
It doesn't.
Okay, the shield's okay. I don't have to explain myself to you. You're a kid. The shield's not working right, but I'm calibrating it right now. I have nothing to do with these weird little things. Like, those are just... That's obviously just, like, stained glass. Is that stained glass? How are you guys moving that? Look, I need you... I'm gonna call... And she reaches to her belt and picks up, like, a radio, and she's about to put it up to her hand to call.
So I'm still trying to sneak up one of the access ladders.
Okay.
She's distracted.
I'm gonna say she's distracted enough to not like she's focused on these kids. She thinks one of them threw a rock at her head, so she's a little.
Emma's gonna try and knock the radio out of her hand with the gravel that Rick had given her earlier.
Derek?
I was gonna say fetch to Krypton.
I mean,
But it works.
you can. Okay.
If you knock it off.
Do
Emma's a field hockey player.
Emma,
anyone-
give me a force. Give me a body force roll. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Man, you got good numbers in body.
Yeah, you had 6 dice for that.
Yes.
Do you have any
He's
luck
an
left?
athlete. I do have a luck.
Or you can push and take a
Come on.
condition.
But our luck, it's a one shot, so we might as well use it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that yet. So yes, I will use my luck and try that one more time.
Okay. Oh no.
Are you kidding me?
Jeez.
Is frustrated a condition?
Angry is.
Yeah.
All right.
I also like how broken is a condition. I don't even know exactly what that means in this
You have to-
context, but
You have to earn that one by getting multiple
Oh,
of
that's-
the other conditions.
Yeah, broken is what happens because kids in this game don't die, but you
Okay.
get broken. Like there's a like if
I
you
think
if
if
you're
you
fighting a
get all
dinosaur
the
and a
other-
dinosaur attacks you, you're broken because kids in this game don't die. But
Yeah.
you're messed up and you need to be fixed.
And I think you get broken by checking all the other
Yeah,
conditions.
if you get all the
gotcha.
conditions, you get broken,
And when
Alright.
you're broken, all your skill fail.
and you have to go and recuperate through.
so what are you gonna take to try to push that?
I am not gonna push. I have tried that twice, so my throw missed. But I also know we've got some other things in the works. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I-
she like more gravel gets thrown. It's like, what is with you kids and throwing gravel? And so she's like taking her hand off the trigger. Like, yeah, no, you guys are out of here. And she
Yeah,
and she brings
and
it
then
back up.
I will point to the
Walkie-talkie.
walkie-talkie and scream fetch to Krypton.
Okay.
Krypton is your iconic item, right?
Yes.
So you get
And that
bonus
gets- you
dice
get-
for
bonus dice for an iconic item.
2 dice, I think.
But what skill? What the hell skill would you?
Force.
Probably force, yeah.
Yeah, I guess force. Yeah. Yeah, so she's about to bring it back up, and you say fetch.
3. I will
And
try rolling real dice now.
Do it.
while she's distracted, as that happens,
I have a success.
Yes.
I also have 4 ones.
Oh!
Wow. Good thing that doesn't really matter.
So like yeah, and this is
that's
like
an amazing roll.
this is a perfect scene because she goes up and she's just about and Derek points and says fetch, and Krypton looks at him and then looks at the doctor and then in slow motion you see this dog as it starts running and jowls flapping, and it looks like it's gonna have the time of its life. And then the camera cuts to the doctor, and she's about to, her mouth is like about to say a word, and she sees the dog, and you can just see her eyes go wide. And then Krypton leaps, and then she's like, "Ah!" And Krypton jumps onto her. And the walkie-talkie, she goes flying on her back. The walkie-talkie flies out of her arms. And Krypton is now just like licking her, and she's like, "Oh God, he's so big!"
Yeah, Krypton is a greyhound, so I mean
Yeah.
it's
Nice.
Whilst this is happening, I'm going to get up and run to the edge of the platform, around the back, out of sight.
Okay,
Am I up on the platform now? Because I was trying to
yeah,
sneak
yeah,
up.
you're up on the platform, and
I'm
she's
gonna make my way to the control panel that she was
Okay.
at.
All right. You get to the control panel, and there's a lot of controls on this control panel. It is a panel full of controls.
I am not nearly as technically skilled as Derek or Andy, but I can smash things.
You can smash things.
I'm gonna be sort of scrambling up the ladder as Rick is doing this.
If you want to
start smashing things before Andy gets there, though.
Okay, yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
Smash.
Go ahead and smash some things.
I'm sure that's a force roll.
Yeah, roll me a force.
1 success.
Okay, yeah, so you're like looking at it. You maybe push a couple buttons, but yeah, no. Describe to me how you smash this.
I only wish that Rick had his guitar on him. I mean, I guess I could say he does. It just never came up before.
I mean, this is your scene. Describe the scene how you want it to be played.
Okay. Yeah, Rick takes a look at the controls. He clearly does not know what any of this stuff means. So he takes his electric guitar off his back and he smashes it over the controls. In what he imagines is the coolest scene possible.
Yeah, and I think as you hit it, you hear like the strings clear off, and it sort of does this wang, and you smash it in, and the whole thing. Go ahead.
isn't that your iconic item?
It's not actually.
No, your
okay.
Walkman's your iconic, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Yeah. So you bring it down, and it smashes into the control panel, and a bunch of the tubes start shaking. Andy, you're coming up, and you see Rick just lay into this with the guitar. And
I'm
this
just
is
there at the top of the ladder going, no.
this is the moment that Butterhorn is born. This is definitely their the art for Butterhorn. It makes no sense with the name, but it's a kid. Yeah, it's a kid smashing an electrical panel with a guitar. But so it starts bumping and shaking, and the tubes start moving, and from underneath Krypton, the lady's like, "No, what are you doing?" And the pyramid starts swirling, and then it goes, and this light just like streaks out across all of Petaluma, and it's like in a single plane, like a bad Star Wars explosion in space. It's a single plane of energy that just shoots out across, and you see all of the 8-bits get all like pixelated and messed up, and then go poof, 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 poof. And in their places are these weird shadowy human-like forms, and above the pyramid there's this tear in space. Like you like a couple of you can see it as like a physical tear, and then a couple of you are on the side of it, and it looks just like these beings, in that it's like almost disappears from your vision. Like you can't really comprehend that this is like, what is this? It's like a window pane. And beyond it you see colors and shadows, and the wispy forms kind of move all around you. and say, you can kind of hear in sort of this whisper that you can kind of understand. Thank you. And they all filter towards that rift, and then the rift seals itself and the machine goes dead. And the doctor lady gets out from Krypton, and she's like, "What have you done? You broke my machine!"
Your machine broke the town first.
I don't understand what you're talking about. Guards!
We should probably leave.
Oh no, you're gonna leave.
Is there fire escape?
I mean,
We're on the roof. Yeah.
there's
We're on
This
the
is
top
where-
of the grain elevator.
This is where we do the Mission Impossible style base jump thing. Yeah.
well, yeah, and this is Tales from the Loop. The guards come, they take you out, they dump you out on the street, and they're like, "Don't come back here,"
Nice.
because you know this is kids, like meddling kids,
Rick's got his smashed guitar in his hand still.
and she's mad at you that you're like, you know, you ruined this experiment. Get goodbye.
Rick just whispers to himself mostly, Butterhorn.
And I will kneel by Krypton and go, "Who's a good little dog?"
And yeah, so you guys can head out. You've head back to the Phoenix.
We walk back towards the Phoenix, regaling each other with tales of everything we all just experienced together.
Yeah.
Hey, but do you remember when we did the thing and it was the...
Hey, do you think Jim can fix this? I hold up like sad broken electric guitar.
I can try, and I will see if I can mend it because I have Tinker.
Yeah, tinker away. See if you can put that back together. Nice. So yeah, go ahead and describe how you fix that.
Yeah, I'll probably fasten some new screws in it, so I mean, fix the neck to it. It will probably don't sound a little bit different because I'm thinking they are probably broken pieces of the body. But it seems like if you just get some new strings, most of it will probably be intact, but it will have a little bit more unique sound.
Well, that's cool. Now it's got character.
If you will permit me, Nicklas, like as you're like fixing it up, you use some of the pieces that you have on you and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that scene sort of ends as you guys are walking. The scene of you fixing it ends with sort of focusing in on like a little bit in the part where the string's attached to not the fretboard, but I can't remember all my one of the strings is slightly glowing. Just a little bit.
I was gonna say, is the string attached to a glowing capacitor?
Well, it's yeah. One of the strings glows really slightly. And then you guys get back to the Phoenix, and there are a bunch of kids like all talking about the weird light in the sky, and the parents are Frank is just like, it's just an electrical store. It's just, that was the light on top of the PPC went out. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And like all the kids are like, what was that? Crazy. But then Rob's back there. Rob seems to be doing okay. Rob's handing out quarters.
Does it seem like...
So, yeah, go ahead.
Can I add a little bit for a sort of final scene?
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to do like a final scene in the Phoenix, go ahead.
So my thought was that we walk back and everybody's sort of talking about this light except for the band Metal, who are taking full advantage of that and are playing on stage. And my thought is that we're thoroughly fed up with this. So I point out to Rick a little amp over the side in the corner, and I quickly pop into the computer lab again and tinker around, and again the sound of the band drops, and instead you hear Rick playing off some awesome tunes.
On my new guitar, newly patched up guitar.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and one of those notes just sounds so sick every time it's played.
Now I'll totally get people to join the band.
Yeah, if there's any other final kind of scenes you guys want to do as the kids, just normal, I'm fine with that. Or we can just call it.
I will put a coin into the bubble machine.
So yeah, you put a coin in the bubble bobble, and it starts up, and they're there again, and they're bouncing. They come floating down, and it's well, one player because you're only playing one, so one of them comes down. Yeah, and it works. It's working normal, and it seems to be all the other games have their characters back.
Frank fixed it.
Oh, you. I know. Jim came by. Like, this is amazing. You did great. And then you
And I
see
think-
Rob rolling around, and Rob goes through all of the arcade machines and takes out the quarters, and then just goes and hands them back to kids. Because someone programmed him to do that.
Huh.
And Emma?
Well, and I think as it starts to wrap up, things go kind of back to normal in the Phoenix, and we start to get one of those scenes where it's like it's starting to blur as just bodies are doing their regular Phoenix things, except for like the four of us, and kind of at each of the places where we normally are in the Phoenix, we all are kind of still focused on, and we all just kind of make that eye contact and kind of smile like we know what was going on and nobody else really does.
And then a classic 80s song just starts playing. And yeah, that fades out.
Credits roll. Yep.
Yep, there we go.
Nice.
And it was my little Tales from the Loop one shot, everyone.
Dude, super awesome. That was great.
Yeah.
I want to do more of these, so we may be doing more of these because I actually want to kind of run some. There's one story in the Our Friends, the Machines, and Other Mysteries. That's a mixtape one, and I really want to kind of run. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But maybe I'll probably tweak it a little bit. But yeah.
I really love the idea that they make short scenarios based on making a mixtape.
Yeah.
So they're based on different
I think
songs.
that's the coolest idea.
Yeah, I think that might be the next one I do. But yeah, no, thank you guys so much. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for putting up with my still learning this system. I hope I gave you enough spotlight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was trying to get used to more of letting, because this game is so much more fun if you let everyone describe their own scenes and give you more ownership over it. So because I would get stuck in the D&D version of where I describe what you do, but then it was more like, no, you guys. So thank you for also putting up with my obviously food that affected young Dustin's life in the town of Petaluma.
But
We
that's
got some insight into young Dustin.
But that's part of what makes this game so great, that you can base it like in your hometown like that, and just make all of that a thing. That is awesome. It's just such great world building. Yeah.
Well, and Two Rock is on the way to the beach, and there's it's classic, iconic California beach stuff. We used to spend a lot because I want to do a Tales from the Loop beach episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And maybe have dinosaurs. I don't know. Well, so just a little farther from Two Rock is Bodega, and that is the town that Hitchcock filmed The Birds in.
Oh sure.
So, and you can go to the church and see, or the school building with the birds, and the bay with the bird scenes. The Birds was filmed, and we spend summers in Bodega Bay for weeks. My grandfather would take the trailer out and just park it there for 2 weeks, and then we would hang out in Bodega for
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So thank you very much. We'll go around and kind of say everything. Let's start from the bottom. Jan, if you want to start.
Sure. So I'm Jan. I'm Jan Allenson at all the social medias, if you can find me there. And it was my pleasure to take part of this. It was a really good time. Thanks.
Thank you. Antan.
Hi, I'm Antan on all the things. This week I learned that sleep is important.
Sleep is important, yes. Nicklas.
Yeah, you can find me at Nyvinter on most places. I do art and anxiety in equal doses.
And Jason.
Yep, you can find me at Jace Levine on Twitter. And I just want to thank Jess for letting us borrow her channel. And
Totally.
definitely watch all the other stuff that goes on here. So many games.
All
There's a
sorts
lot
of
of
good
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to get some more stuff running on here. I think we may have found Tales from the Loop popularity here because this system has some really fun stuff in it, and I'd like to get some more of it done. Yeah, so everyone, I'm Dusty at GeoNerd on Twitter. Don't really do much Twitch anymore because I like to give content to this channel. And so thank you for watching. I hope you all watch again. There's some stuff coming up on this channel. There's a lot of stuff on this channel.
Constantly.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Just stay tuned here.
All sorts of
Follow
good stuff.
Jess, go_JG on Twitter, and follow this channel for announcements. There's Patreons and Discords, and if you do that in the chat, all that stuff will come up. Support Jess, support this channel, so we can give you this awesome, cool content with a lot of different systems and games. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you later. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye all.
Bye.